With 2 wins in 3 races, RCH Soaring Eagle Jimmy John Suzuki ace Ken Roczen has blazed a trail to an early 12-point lead in series standings. Can the young German keep it rolling? If there is one rider you do not want chasing you in a title run, it is Ryan Dungey. If the Diesel can crank out a victory tonight in O.Co Stadium, he will not only give KTM their first win in the venue, but he can close the gap on the early sprinting Roczen. In the 250 West Division, Yamalube Star Racing Yamaha's Cooper Webb charges into Oakland looking to begin a streak. His victory last weekend in Anaheim was stuff of Supercross legend, as he started poorly, then raged through the pack, taking the lead on the last lap for the win. Hello everyone. Welcome to Race Day Live on SupercrossLive.com. We are here in O.Co Stadium in sunny Oakland, California for round 4 of the 2015 Monster Energy AMA Supercross Championship and FIM World Championship. Round 4, we're halfway through the West Coast swing, and we're going to, round out this thing in California with the next 3 races. Hello everyone. I'm Andy Boyer. Right beside me as always is Jim Hollywood Holly. Welcome to the show.
Well, it's good to be here, Andy, and I'm sure the riders like to see the sunshine like you can see behind us there. We got sun here. I mean, typically sometimes up in Northern California, this time of year we could run into some weather, but it's going to be a great night of racing here in O.Co Stadium here in Oakland, California.
Oh, absolutely. You know, the big questions are, is Roczen going to be able to keep this thing rolling? A first, a second, a first. What's he going to do tonight?
Well, I mean, the other thing is he's got a 12-point lead on Ryan Dungey, who sits second. But you look at Dungey, the opener, he had a 4th. He had a 3rd in Phoenix. He had a 2nd last week in Anaheim. Can he make it a win here in Oakland for KTM and get his first win of 2015? I think he needs to do it. I talked to him a little bit on the track walk. He seems to be positive. He's ready to go here, and tonight could be the night. I mean, you definitely can't let Kenny Roczen keep on this roll and keep winning races. I mean, Kenny Roczen's got something to do here. Back, in 2006, his boss, Ricky Carmichael, won 3 out of 5 rounds, and Kenny can do it here tonight here in Oakland if he wins here. But we'll see. It's going to be a long night. They got a lot of practice, a lot of time qualifying, a lot of heat races, semis, last chance to get into that main event, and it'll be good tonight.
Well, we moved up the coast up here to the Bay Area, and the dirt's a lot different. So we got a pretty different, the most different track we've seen so far in this series. We're going to go look at the Kawasaki track map right now.
Yeah, I think you mentioned the dirt here. It's a little bit softer than in years past, even when I've been up here. And we got a sand section here in Oakland, which is nice. So here it goes. The gate's going to drop on that Kawasaki track map here, and we're going to race down into that first turn there. The first turn, a little bit of a left-hander as we're going to go here and right around the Toyota Tundra you see right there. And right after that, you're going to get into a timing section here and a couple little jumps, step on, step off. In the years past, right here, this right-hander, sometimes we've seen a lot of guys pile up. After that, you're going to do a nice long section of whoops, a triple double into this corner. That's where the moguls are. There's a little bit of some moguls in that corner. Come out of there. If you can triple down this section like we've seen in the free practices some of the guys doing, that'll be interesting. A huge triple here. A lot of the guys struggling with it in that free practice. A lot of moisture in at that time, so they're getting a lot of wheel spin. Out of that, another timing section, double into this corner. Carry that momentum around here, up and over the nice 65-foot triple here. And then you're going to double into this right-hander. Look for some passing here. Anytime you got a 180, you leave the door open, somebody's going to take it. This is going to be an interesting section here. It's a huge Monster Energy finish line. You're not done. You still got a right-hander. You're going to come back across the starting line. Then you get into that sand section there, which is tough. And then a left-hander back onto that starting line. And that's a lap here in Oakland.
And we got a lot of storylines that, today, Jim, leading up into tonight's racing on Fox Sports 1. Look at the 250 West. We got 11 points separating 1st through 5th place. But meanwhile, Cooper Webb's won the last 2 in a row and really stormed through the pack last weekend.
Well, and I think with Cooper Webb, he's feeling a little bit of pressure because back in 2008, Jason Lawrence strung together 3 wins in a row. Can Cooper Webb do it? I mean, it's been a long time since we've seen a Yamaha string together 3 wins. That's one of their perspectives. When are we going to see Josh Hill get his? I'm sorry, Justin Hill get his first win in 2015 for that factory KTM ride. But and Bowers, he thought he had it last weekend until that last turn there where, I mean, it was a beautiful block pass that Cooper Webb put on. There was nothing he could do. Bowers had to kind of just turned down into him, hit him, went off. But the thing is, Bowers kept that bike running, and he still finished up second. So can Bowers get his first in 2015 here, the second of his career? You got to go back a couple years ago, Las Vegas, when Bowers got his first of his career in that 250 class.
What do you think about those two? You know, those are two aggressive riders. We know Bowers is really aggressive coming up from the AMSOIL Arena Cross Series, but Cooper's aggressive himself. Do you think there's going to be a building, you know, rivalry there between those two, or how do you think that's going to shake out?
You know, it just depends. I mean, and we'll have to see here in Oakland, you know, how that plays out. But the thing about it with that win last weekend for Cooper Webb is I watched Cooper Webb come through the pack, and he came through from back. I mean, he was buried outside that top 10. And for him to come up and win this thing, Bowers, you know, he kind of had it handed to him. Lap 6, Jesse Nelson. It looks like Jesse Nelson's going to run away with this thing, get the second of his career, the second of 2015 for him. Yep. He throws it away. Bowers is just kind of riding out there, leading it, had a good comfort. But I really don't think that he knew how bad Cooper Webb wanted that win. He wanted to back it up. He didn't want everybody to know that Phoenix the week before was no fluke for him. For him to back that up was very important last week. But, you know, we've seen other heat races where we've seen Bowers and Hill get into it, and there have been great passes. I mean, just beautiful to watch. I mean, poetry in motion, one guy block pass, squared up underneath this, that. Yeah. And then you've got to go back to the Anaheim where we saw Bowers and Osborne flat take somebody, you know, test somebody out. So I don't know how that's going to develop. You know, if you're Cooper Webb and you're Bowers, you probably don't want to, if I'm in their position, I mean, I know when I was riding, I had guys like that, man, I really don't want to tangle this guy because he's just like me. Yeah. And it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out brawl. So maybe we have that here tonight.
You know, and if you go on down through the pack, we saw what happened with Josh Hansen and Shane McElrath. And there's several other riders out there with some chip on their shoulders that it's been rough and tumble. It's going to be interesting to see, you know, after the events of last week played out, how that goes moving forward. Are we still going to see takeouts? Are we still going to see guys putting each other in the tough box? What do you think?
Well, if you're asking me that question, absolutely. I think, you know, that West is always, it's the wild, wild West. We see a lot of guys out there, a lot of guys trying to make names for themselves. And I'm not even talking about the factory guys. It's the three-digit guys like that. Jackson Richardson, I mean, we did a nice piece with him earlier today, and we're going to see that later on in the show. But him to finish up 11th, I mean, you were down there with me. We saw, I mean, his mom's there, his girlfriend. They're working out of a van, you know, old school privateers.
Nothing wrong with that.
I like that. I mean, I like to see that. That kid is hungry, you know. Absolutely. So, I mean, if it's a position of him getting into that top 10, although he's had his best finish of his career. It's been a 9th. I think it was in Vegas a couple years ago or maybe last year. But, you know, he wants to break into that top 5. So, you know, when push comes to shove, these guys out west, they're going to push and shove all day long here.
Absolutely. And, you know, and then up into the 450 class, we've had some unfortunate stories with guys getting hurt. We've lost Weston Pike. Of course, we lost Will Hahn. Michael Lessie's not racing tonight. But then we've had some new.
Dean Wilson, that's another one. Dean Wilson's out. I mean, and we're having a couple guys here, round 4. Oakland, like you said, make their debut in 2015. I'm talking about guys that Phil Nicoletti filling in for Weston Pike, and then Vince Freeze. He's starting his 2015 campaign, although we'll see him out in Arlington on February 14th, but he's riding because Michael Lessie's not riding. So a lot of guys making their debut here.
Yeah, you know, and Nicoletti and Vince Freeze are two forces to be reckoned with. Those guys can put it in the main event, and they're not afraid to get rough either. You know, between those two, who do you think is going to come out on top between Phil and Freeze?
Well, I think I have to go with Phil, just because of the fact that, you know, I know Vince Freeze was injured. He talked a little bit about it. He got hurt over in the Swedish Supercross back in October. He hasn't raced. Where Phil's been testing. I mean, that's his role, you know, and that's what I like about the JGR team. You know, Coach Gibbs, a lot like the NFL. You know, he's got backup, you know, quarterbacks in the NFL. Well, he's got backup riders with Phil Nicoletti. Phil's been testing and riding. The only thing he hasn't been is racing. That's the last time I saw him race was in Stockholm, Sweden at the Supercross over there. So, with that being said, I think he's a little bit more prepared, a little bit more acclimated. But, you know, you never can count out Vince Freeze also.
Well, let's move towards the front of the pack, Jim. You know, a guy that had a really bad weekend last weekend was Trey Canard. He got taken out in his heat race. He had the debacle in the main event. How does a kid like that bounce back coming into Oakland?
Three easy letters and one word: win. It's as simple as that, win. He's got to come out here because he's sitting right now 5th in the points. He's 29 points out of that from Ken Roczen. That is a complete race. You get 25 points for a win. Well, he's 29 below, so he's a race down. He's got to come out here and he's going to win, but it's going to start with a start. And you hear everybody talk about it. You watch the Fox Sports 1 broadcast with Ralph Shaheen and Jeff Emig. Jeff always emphasizes it's the start. And it is a start. That plays a big thing. But we've seen in the past, we've seen guys come from the back of the pack and win. But I don't think in that 450 class, Trey can come from 10th or 12th place start and win one. He's got to get that whole shot. And I talked to him today on the drive. I said, look, hey, supercrosslive.com, we're paying $1,500. I want to see Trey Canard. I want to give him $1,500 for the whole shot. But I want to see what he does up front with it when he gets the whole shot. That's another story.
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see what he does if he gets to the front tonight. But ladies and gentlemen, we have some interviews from the podium last weekend, and we're going to show them to you right now.
Here are the 250 West highlights from Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. Miss Monster Energy Supercross with the 30-second board up, and the gate drop would get this one underway.
As the riders would battle through the first turn, it was the Troy Lee KTM of Jesse Nelson in second as Zach Osborne was out front.
Nelson would come charging up alongside Osborne, and this would be the early fight for the lead.
Watch Nelson here, just scrubs that finish line jump, just gets a wheel on him, takes over the lead.
We thought McGrath would have a good night, but Shane had problems after a heat race win earlier on the 40.
Yeah, watch right here. Gets a little help from Josh Hansen, number 100. He gives him a bump, and McGrath goes into the mechanics signal board area.
Osborne was good most of the night on the 16th, and this problem here.
Yeah, he gets into Aldridge, spins out a little bit, loses a spot to Hill.
Battling here, Bowers coming in and aggressively moving past on the 911.
But the biggest mistake of the night, Jesse Nelson out front with the lead, clips the over-under, goes off the track, gives up the lead.
He wasn't the only one to crash. Aldridge on the 66 here in green.
Yeah, this was a big one. He comes up short, gives a little bit of throttle and slides down. The rookie had such a good night going.
And then it was Cooper Webb on the 17, working his way up through the field, battling with Hill here.
Webb going around the outside. Hill's going to try to hold the inside line, but Webb just really keeps his momentum going. And think about this. Webb was 12th on the first lap, gets into this little battle here with Hill, and this lasted a couple laps, but he was on the move.
This was the moment of the night right here as Webb comes charging in.
2 turns from the end, Webb steals the lead from Bowers.
And it's checkered flag, and we have our first 2-time winner in 2015 in Monster Energy Supercross 250 West Championship title fight, as Cooper Webb wins in Phoenix a week ago and now has his second win of the year as he claims a top step of the podium here in Angel Stadium. It's on to Oakland next for the 250 West Championship.
And attention race fans, check out the National MX Champion YZ250F and 2015 YZ450F 4-strokes at YamahaMotorsports.com today. And fans, if you want to win, MMI and AMSOIL have teamed up to give you a chance to win a replica of Kevin Windham's Honda CRF 450R Supercross bike. Go to www.winkevinsbike.com for your chance to win. MMI, the official technical institute of Monster Energy Supercross.
That was a nice shot of Cooper Webb on the podium there. Big smiles for his second of his career. I don't know if he's smiling because he got a second winner or because he's flanked by 2 Monster Energy girls. I don't know, but big smiles for Cooper Webb. And, you know, you saw that, and you saw Zach Osborne come away with that whole shot. He also had one in Phoenix. He's going to win one this year. I think that thumb's starting to bother him a little bit. He had that little tip over there. And like you had mentioned, Hansen and McElrath, he sent him right into the mechanics area.
Yeah, I was actually able to speak with Zach Osborne today on Track Walk, and his thumb has been bothering him really bad. I asked him, I'm like, you're starting really well, but in the middle part of the race, you're fading, and then you're coming on strong at the end. He said that it feels better this week. He's looking forward to getting another good start, and he says he feels better in his training motos this week so he can be strong for 15 laps. So that's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out.
Yeah, it's hard. And you know, our hearts went out to Jesse Nelson. I mean, that was just a mistake that he meant. You know, he comes over that the over and under, and he clipped it, you know, and went down. I mean, you felt bad. But he got back up, and he rebounded up and finished up 6th. He's still in this championship fight.
Yeah, you know, and unlike the 450 class, the 250 guys are all still pretty healthy. So with the exception of, you know, Osborne's thumb. But over in the 450 class, our buddy Will Hahn got hurt in the first practice of the series. But Will got a hold of us this week and sent us this video to say hi to you guys.
Hey guys, it's Will Hahn with the Monster Energy Kawasaki team. Just letting you guys know I'm on the road to recovery. I'm here on the couch, not able to be at the races, but it won't be long now. So hope you guys enjoy watching the Supercross tonight, all the racing on Race Day Live, and hope to see you guys soon.
It's good to hear from Will. You know, that was a really nasty crash, and you never know how those deals are going to work out. It was good to hear from him. I've been texting him for a couple weeks now, and I knew he was okay, but he's been pretty groggy from the pain meds, but he's going to be back.
Well, and you can see in there, you know, he lost a lot of weight. You know, when you're in the hospital like that, you don't eat right and things like that. And yeah, I mean, he's got to get strong. And, yeah, Will's a tough competitor. It's nothing that he hasn't been through in his career, you know, and he knows how to bounce back for that. And I look forward to him coming back soon. Yeah,
you know, and then we got Pike, and then we got Justin Brayton. You know, Brayton's got some back injuries, but they said it's not as bad as it sounds, and he should be back in, you know, 4 to 6 weeks, which is the kind of go-to time period.
Yeah, and some of the track field crew there doing some work with the Toyota Tough blocks there. They got to stake those things in. That actually saves a lot of guys. Sometimes when they come around those turns, you know, if those things aren't secure, that front end will push over. So if they get those stakes in them and kind of hold them in there, it's actually like extending that berm a little bit higher.
You know, it's an interesting track we got, Jim. You know, and the dirt's going to change all the way up into the main events tonight. We got the sunshine coming in. There's a little bit of a breeze going on here, but there's also some different obstacles that make this track unique. Me and you went down there, you know, last night and talked about some of those obstacles. Andy Boyer with Race Day Live, presented by AMSOIL. We're here in O.Co Coliseum in Oakland, California. This track has a new dynamic we haven't seen this year yet with these moguls in the corner here, as you see. Now, most of the time, there's going to be a preferred line on the inside or the outside, but what this creates is kind of a conundrum, you know, because no matter what, this is going to be rough. You're going to be coming in here at a bunch of high speed from this rhythm section and have to pick or choose where you want to go into the next section. The other factor in this particular part of the track is the dirt. This Northern California dirt isn't as hard packed as we've seen in Southern California. This is more of a sandier composition, and it's going to stay a little bit more looser, and it's really going to churn up throughout the day. So look for this corner to be one of the prime passing opportunities in a place where we can see some major racing action. Jim's over in the sand section. Let's go turn it over to him, and we'll check out what's going on with the sand section this weekend.
Well, thanks, Andy. You can see the Monster Energy finish line. After you come over the big finish line double jump, it's a right-hander. You're going to come right back across the starting line, and you're going to enter into the sand section like you talked about. This is a true sand section. This is hard for the guys, not for a couple reasons. One, you know, the tires aren't sand tires that they start out with on these things. Although Dunlop makes a great tire, the MX-32 will probably grab a hold of some good things. But you see a lot of guys struggling in this section. They lose the front end. As soon as you come out of the sand, it's a left-hander back onto the starting line. I think this is one of the treacherous parts here at the O.Com Coliseum here in Oakland. So look for this tomorrow night, the 24th, to be a hard section for the boys.
And we want to take a moment and thank DC Shoes. DC is proud to be the official footwear sponsor of AMA Supercross. Defy convention with DC Shoes. And AMSOIL, synthetic dirt bike oil, delivers maximum horsepower, bulletproof wear protection, and consistent clutch feel for the confidence you need to get on it, get after it, and stay out front. AMSOIL, out front performance. All right. You know, what do you think about that sand section? You think there's going to be some guys picking themselves up out of that thing tonight?
Well, I mean, we saw Ben LeMay in that free practice. We were looking down behind us there, and it's number 42 on the Auto Trader Rock River Yamaha team. I'm going, how did he get off there? Oh, that's right. The sand section is getting rough. They got some whoops. He probably came out of it, landed like this, and as soon as it hit, he couldn't control it. But he got back up and he was okay. But I think that sand section is a cool part of Supercross racing. I think it adds a different element, as well as those moguls in there. I mean, it's just not a flat corner where guys can go racing in. They got to deal with the moguls, and it's going to be a good course here tonight.
I think so too. I think the track's, you know, it's going to have some passing opportunities, and like that mogul section, there's really no good line there. It's still, after a couple practices, it's holding up, and they're going every which way. So, well, folks, grab a beverage, take a break. We're going to be right back. And welcome back to Race Day Live. Looks like we're going to have the 250C guys coming up next here.
Yeah, it's kind of a little interesting here. I'm seeing the guys walking the bikes out. I'm not sure why they're walking them out and not riding out to this point. You know, in practice, you can't practice any starts out of the gate or anything, but I guess they're pushing them out to the front of that. I see the dozers behind them there, and then you see that's where the mechanics will be behind the Suzuki and the Kawasaki barricades there. So now they're going to fire them up and get going.
We want to thank all you guys for tuning in today, especially our international viewers. We have Angel Conception. It's watching at 12:50 a.m. in China right now. So that's cool to have them tune in from all the way across the world.
Yeah, almost 1 o'clock in the morning they're checking us out. Stay up. We got a good show tonight.
Some diehard fans. And also, you know, we got some online fans sending in some picks already. It looks like they want Dungey, Tomac, and Baggett for the podium tonight. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I already got my my text from Kurt Benke up there in Minnesota. He's snowed in up there. He says it's cold. And you know, we may see him. I told him, hey, come down to Indianapolis, man. That's usually a good one. But he's got his picks in already. But, yeah, it's pretty cool when the people come in. And Dungey, I don't think that's a bad one. You know, like I said earlier in the show, you know, he had a fourth, a third, a second. And, you know, he looks good today out there in practice. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's been a pretty steady progression for the Dungey. A fourth, a third, and a second. If he goes out there and wins this thing tonight, he can tighten up that, you know, points thing with Roczen.
Yeah, he has to. I mean, you know, if Roczen finishes second and Dungey wins it, you know, he's going to pick up 3 points. He'll only be 9 down. You can't let that number keep growing. I mean, if it's the other way around and Roczen ends up winning it and Dungey finishes second, well, it's going to be 15 points. And then if it follows in next weekend, it could be 18. And before you know it, we're not even to the East Coast, and he's already got a lead of 25 points.
Yeah.
And you don't want that to happen. So Dungey knows that, you know, tonight's got to be the night for him.
This is actually 250B group qualifying.
Look at what we see out there. Jake Canada, that's another rider that we said making, well, he actually was riding a 450, but he's making his debut as you see him on the 5150 energy drink. And Jake, I think, is actually coming on our show today.
Yeah, it's going to be good to talk to him. You know, those guys are pretty pumped up over there. They got Craig Monty as a team manager now, and 5150 energy drink, and they got some good things going on. And Jake Canada can get around the track fast. He's a guy that can get in the main event.
Well, and another guy over there, the PR guy, I don't want to call him PR guy, but the guys at Terry Beal, and he used to be at Yamaha, and they're riding Yamahas, you know, so that's a good fit. Terry Beal always working hard over there at 5150.
Lots of good guys with Yamaha this year. You know, they've got all those different teams, you know, with you know, the 5150 guys and then the JGR guys, of course, and all the other smaller teams.
Star Racing, I think it's great. I mean, you see a lot of those guys out there, and you know, and they have a huge display in the pits. I mean, they have everything out there, all the watercraft stuff, the generators, everything. Almost every make and model that Yamaha makes is on display here in the party in the pits in Oakland.
There's definitely a lot of talk about that YZ250F this year. You know, there was 10 of them in the main event last weekend, so that goes a long ways. Just a quick rundown of our guests. We're going to have Bobby Reagan from Star Racing Yamaha, and we're going to have Jake Canada and NorCal legend, Supercross, Steve Lamson. It's going to be good to talk to him. I know he has some good stories of racing up here in NorCal back in the day, so it'd be cool to have all three of those guys on the show today.
Yeah, I know Steve's a great guy, and I'm glad to see he's still in the sport, giving back, you know, helping out the younger riders. You saw him when we saw that podium with Cooper Webb up there. Steve Lamson was the first one to come over and congratulate him when he came off the track. So Steve knows what that guy's going through.
And real quick, our top 5 in this 250B group is Nico Izzy. He's jumped out there, looks like a 58.3. And we got Jake Canada with a 58.4. Tommy Hahn with a minute flat. And that's Gelderon in 4th and Howell in 5th.
Yeah, and you mentioned Gelderon. He had a pretty good ride last weekend.
Got in the main event.
Yeah, his first main event finished up in that 20th. But, hey, you know what? It's not the 20th. It is the thing that, hey, I got into the main event and I got 15 more laps of riding on a Supercross track and racing with the top guys in that 250 class. So hopefully he can double it up and get that thing into the main event again tonight.
And Gelderon's one of the Southern California practice track heroes. You know, he's just another one of those guys like Nick Schmidt, the milestone assassin, that just kind of come out of nowhere. You're like, who is this guy? Now he's in the main event, making a name for himself, and be interesting to see if he can keep the momentum going.
Yeah, a couple guys coming together. Trying to look at that number there. Is that
3:48 it looks like there, Jim. And that is, oh, yeah.
148, that's who that was. I thought it might have been 143, Michael Horban, but 148.
That's Trevor Rice out of Alpine, California.
Yeah. And Trevor's putting in some pretty good rides. He's sitting third right now with a 59.3 there, kind of looking behind him there. Don't stop. We always say
Reese.
don't stop.
Yeah.
There's
Mr. Jake.
Canada.
That triple there's a banger out of that corner. You know, remember we were watching just coming up to the set here today, and a bunch of guys weren't sending it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we really didn't walk it off. I'll have to talk to the Feld track crew, but normally, you know, I step it off a little bit, you know, 65, 70 feet. I think that one might be 75 today, you know, maybe 80. It's pretty big out there.
It's definitely one of the more sizable triples, that's for sure.
That's Williams out there, 192 we're looking at, and he's been close. You know, he's been close. He's putting in a lot of hard work, and you know, you can see it. It's starting to pay off for him. A lot of these guys have moved up from the C group into the B group, which is a little bit faster group, and it's good to see him out there.
All the way from Utah.
Here's that sand that we were talking about. See how it's got some grooves in it. It looks almost as deep as Southwick, Massachusetts there, that sand section. And like we talked about earlier on that piece that we did with the moguls and the sand, I mean, a lot of these guys, their tires are set up for, you know, the rest of this course. Well, that might be like 5%, maybe 4% of the track. Yeah. And it's sand. And a lot of guys forget when they come in there, their front end starts to push, and they're thinking that they can save it, and it goes away. Or you'll see a lot of guys get in trouble with the front, and they grab a big handful of throttle in the rear, and then their wheel starts spinning there as we see Jake Canada now up and over that triple.
Jake looks really good out there. You know, it's good to see him back in the 250 class. You know, he's kind of been in and out of some rides for the last couple years, and looks like he's got a good one underneath him. He's going to be interesting to watch in the heat races tonight.
Well, and you see the yellow flag out there. They're just kind of, he went around, he wanted to see, and he sees the Monster Energy leaderboard. It's Jake Canada up there, followed by Izzy. You know, those guys are the fastest guys right now.
We saw a bunch of guys in this section right here in the 450s. They were just going in two landings, you know, triple and then another triple.
Yeah, I just don't think the 250's got enough torque and power to do that. You know, I'm not sure we're seeing the yellow flag out there. That usually tells me that someone's down and they're just kind of watching out. But that's the hard thing when you're qualifying. You see those yellow flags out there, and that's caution. If you see the you know, the white flag with a red cross in it, you got to roll the triples. That's going to kill your times and things like that.
You're watching 284. That's Cody Church. He's out of Grand Junction, Colorado, and
well, you know what's happening in Grand Junction this weekend.
The Arena Cross boys are getting down.
Yeah, the AMSOIL Arena Cross Series visiting Grand Junction, Colorado. That's going to be a good series, that AMSOIL Arena. Oh, hang on to it. Oh, he saved it. What a nice save. That was 336, if I'm not mistaken. And I could be mistaken.
I couldn't tell who he was. All I saw was his drain plug flying through the screen there. It's a good save.
The main thing is he saved it. See, now that's also hard, that sand section, because you just saw when Canada went by, your mechanics are off to the left.
Yeah.
So you're trying to look at your mechanic, and then you got to navigate going through the sand section there.
I'm watching Canada here, and he really looks good. That triple there is pretty gnarly. If you overjump that, it's trouble.
Yeah, you got to remember, he doesn't really have a lot of time on that thing, and his teammate Austin Politelli on there. Austin, you know, putting in some pretty good rides. You know, last week ended up 14th for Austin. Not a bad finish, but you know, I think that, you know, anytime a team brings in another rider, they're trying to do something there. They're trying to light a fire underneath their number one rider. Like, hey, you got to pick it up, because if not, Jake Canada will pick it up for us.
Definitely making the Yamaha look good. And what do the YZ450F and YZ250F have in common? They both won major motocross shootouts. Check them out at your Yamaha dealer or YamahaMotorsports.com.
Well, and the other thing that they have in common, and what I like, and a lot of the manufacturers are doing this, a lot of the front number plates, side number plates, they're all interchangeable. In years past, they never used to be like that. And it makes it hard for a team. You know, if you're supporting a race team out there, that just means you got to stock more stuff in the truck and spend more money on parts. But if you have interchangeable parts like Yamaha, and I think Honda's doing the same thing, and all the other factories are kind of following suit, I think it's a great idea to have the same, you know, number plates and things like that that are interchangeable.
Well, it helps these privateers out. Most of these guys ride both bikes anyways, you know, so it's one less part they have to buy. So it's good. It's good that the manufacturers are thinking about that.
Well, and these 250s are turning so many revs, they got to rebuild these things more than a 450. A 450, you know, it's like a big tractor lugging around out there. You can get away a lot of time. These things are turning such high RPMs that they're having to, you know, change valve springs, you know, piston rings, things like that. These will wear out a little bit faster than a 450.
That's still Church here in your screen.
Yeah. See, he's going to come in right now. He's going to pull in. Yellow flag, that's it. The practice is over. They're coming in. They're going to give their mechanics a ride stuff. And, you know, that's the key, because when they ride out of this stand, there's a big, long uphill, I mean, tunnel that it's pretty cool that their mechanics. And, you know, when a rider's upset at something, he leaves his mechanic, and his mechanic's got to walk back to the truck. I always couldn't understand that, because if you got something wrong with the bike, you want your mechanic on the back of the bike.
Yeah.
You don't want him to be tired walking back to the truck and then start to work on your bike.
That's right. Keep that guy fresh.
Yeah, that's it for that one.
That's going to conclude it for the 250B group. And
not bad though for Canada. A 55.7. I like. I mean, a 55.7 there, and Izzy with a 56.6. So clearly a full second faster. I mean, Canada's adapting to that Yamaha, and well, obviously when he comes on the show later on, we'll have to ask him. Hey, it looks like you're adapting really well to the Yamaha.
And we saw him, you know, earlier when we were coming up here to the set. You know, he looks like he's in a good mood. He's loose and seems really happy. So Jake Canada is going to be a force to be reckoned with tonight, and he looks good in practice so far. Yeah, you look at some guys like that when you go and you talk to them or whatever, and you know, a lot of times I know that Kevin Barnett or Jason Wagon, you know, when I've had some good podiums where I picked, you know, all three. A lot of that's luck. But sometimes when I interview a rider, I look in his eyes and I just kind of see his attitude. And he's just, it's his night. And, you know, I think that it could be Dungey's night tonight. I mean, talking to him earlier in the thing, you know, kind of give him a little, you know, pat on the back. Hey, Diesel, you ready to go tonight? You know, and just kind of winding him up, and just, you know, how he reacts is how I kind of pick some of my guys. And he looks good. Well, let's talk about a couple other guys, Jim. You know, let's talk about some guys that had mountains of expectation coming into the season, and after 3 rounds, they just haven't produced yet, with Davey Millsaps and Justin Barsha. What do you think is going on with those guys? Yeah, I mean you talk about a guy like Davey Millsaps as we're seeing this first qualifying session 250C group out there right now, but Davey Millsaps, yeah, I mean he was on my pick, you know, on who's next. You know, we talk about that, who's next, hashtag, you know, supercrosslive.com. You know, after that Monster Energy Cup, I just thought, wow, man, everything gelled for Davey. It's like, you know, when he was on that Suzuki, when he was with the Rockstar and a couple guys getting together there. Can't see the number of the bikes, but hopefully they're all right. The one on the left looks like he's struggling a little bit, and the other guy on the right, he's up. They're probably more upset at themselves. And here's the Asterix mobile medical crew coming over to check. That's Eddie Casillas there checking the guys out, and still can't make out that number with that sun there. It's kind of blocking it, but these guys will be all right. These guys are tough. 120. Yeah, 120 is Todd Bannister, also out of Colorado Springs. Bannister looks like he's okay, and the other guy was 620. I thought that was there. Yeah, 635, I think. They're back up. 645 is Cheyenne Harmon out of Texas. So those guys didn't even make it 1 lap. Too bad. Looked like he didn't have the clutch in quite there. He just kind of jammed it in. But they're up. They're okay. They know what they got to do out there. They got to go down and put in some fast times. But getting back to Millsaps, you know, after the here's the repeat of the crash. See, Bannister just ran right into the back of him. It wasn't, you know, just erasing it. And we always talk about that. Even in practice, don't follow the other guy. Because if that other guy makes a mistake and you're in the air, there's nowhere for you to go, as you saw Bannister, number 120, run into the that bike that was down. So, I mean, sometimes you got to follow the guy and trust him and hope he doesn't make a mistake. But with that being said, moving on to Davey Millsaps, after that Monster Energy Cup in October 2014, 6 months, I'm sorry, 6 months, a year and a half hiatus with not racing, comes out and wins the Monster Energy Cup. I thought he's the guy. But
Man, obviously he's not this year. He's got to be struggling with the bike. And then on the other side of it, you talked about Barcia. You look at a guy like Justin Barcia, a lot of high expectations, and for him, out of 3 rounds, he's only mustered a 4th. Everything else has been out of that top 5. And I talked to Johnny O'Mara a little bit. He's kind of working with him and stuff. He goes, yeah. I asked him, I go, what happened in that, I think it was a heat race or a semi where we saw Barcia lose the front end? Yeah, he gets a little bit of that Bam Bam in him. He goes, I like a little bit Bam Bam, but I don't like a lot of Bam Bam. So we're trying to control him a little bit and not make mistakes. And, so that's the key there. He looked pretty good. Barcia came out here in that free practice, looked good. So we'll see if he can't get it on the podium. But that's a rider that I think needs to get on the podium.
Yeah, it's just tough. I mean, look at the guy that's 3rd in points right now. The rookie, Lobo.
Jason Anderson.
Yeah.
I mean, and there was a thing that I looked back when, Andrew Short went down. He had nowhere to go. That was the start. That was the first lap or second lap, and he ran right into him there. And he's sitting 3rd. He's not that far out of the points. I mean, he's right in there. If something happens to Dungey, he's sitting 21 points out right now in that 3rd. And like we talked about, Dungey 12 points behind. Anderson 21, and then you got full races with Eli Tomac at 26, Trey Canard and Justin Barcia are tied 29 points behind the leader.
Yeah, it's a hornet's nest after about the top 3, but here in this 250C practice going on here, we have, looks like 422 is Philip Klacko from Germany. Got another German out here leading practice. And then 544 is Berger.
536 down on the track there. He just looks like he's okay. They're going to pick that bike up and get back and remount it. You got got about 5 more minutes to go in this practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at those whoops. They're not getting too bad there. They're not getting too bad.
Yeah, the key is to get through those whoops good and then triple into that next section. Easier said than done, but yeah.
Yeah, you see kind of the track, the dirt work, the Feld track crew, they're going to have to put some water in this after this first track intermission here when the guys, after they get done with the first set of time practices when we have our guests on, because it's getting a little dry out there. And see, now you're seeing that red, the white flag with the red cross. You got to kind of roll all those sections. That's what we talked about earlier in the show with this C group.
Yeah.
The B guys, yeah, they got a few yellow flags. This C group, very hard for these guys to lay down a fast lap time. Like you're going to look at the leader at a 102, and the other boys were turning in 58s, 59s. So a little bit slower this group of practice, and these guys are trying things.
I really like that section right there. You can really, well, the whoops are cool too, but that kind of jump onto the tabletop there after the sand section, you can carry a lot of momentum there. I think we're going to see a lot of passing there later tonight.
Yeah, the thing about that section you're talking about after the start there, I mean, it is really wide in there. I mean, normally, it's 20, 25 feet, but I mean, it looks like it's 30, 35 foot wide in that first turn, which it should be, because you got 22 guys coming off that gate going into that first turn. It needs to be wide right there. And when you enter in that left-hander after the sand and all that, it's real wide in there.
It's going to be cool.
And I think that's the thing that, the Feld Motorsports people did. I think, in years past when we've seen after the start, you go down that section, the right-hander 180, we've seen a lot of guys crash there. It was a little bit narrower. Yeah. They've kind of opened it up a little bit more, so you got a little bit more racing room, which I like that.
It's number 251, Kyle Gillis out of Idaho. He's sponsored by Fly Racing, Western Power Sports, and Blackheart MX. He's got a 1 minute and 1 second lap time there. That's about 6 seconds off of Canada's in the 250B group, so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad time. A 108, a 101.8 there. I'm sure he can probably, Gillis can take a little bit off of that, as the day wears on.
And on your screen here is Brian Burns out of San Clemente, California. He lists Grindstone, Race Tech, Bill's Pipes, Axo, Bell, Scott, and Mika Helmets as his sponsors. Let's see, he is, where is he at?
Well, looks like something might be wrong with him.
He's in the top 10 in this practice. So.
Yeah, he was kind of looking down at his front brake. Let's see if he pulls into the mechanics area. Maybe has a little bit of a problem there, but Yeah, see, he only doubled that, and now they're tripling that coming out of that section. I'm not sure, something might be wrong with his motorcycle. But he's sitting 10th right now, so that's not bad. Yeah, let's see. We'll have to hope their camera guy. There's the big Monster Energy finish line. Let's see if he goes into the mechanics area. Nope, bypassed it, heading into the sand. He'll be happy next week when we're in from San Clemente. He'll be home at Anaheim.
And he'll be really happy when we get to San Diego. San Clemente's just right there down the road. So well, the track looks like it's working together. You know, it's coming together pretty good. I talked to the.
There's Bannister there, kind of rolling around. Not sure he's got maybe a few little nagging injuries from when he ran into the that rider that was down in front of him.
As I say, I was talking to the Feld track crew this morning at breakfast, and they said they were going to have to put 8,000 gallons of water on this track last night, but they knew they were going to have to put more on throughout the day.
Yeah, I think that last week we saw, you know, at Anaheim during the track walk that it was a little bit wet today. They kind of, I think they put a lot of moisture in it, but I think for right now it's good. I think that might be Travis down there, one of the Feld track crew there with that helmet on there, that Monster Energy helmet. And that's a safety thing. When these guys go out and, you know, grab a motorcycle, they got to protect themselves.
That's definitely a good idea.
Oh, a little bump in practice there. I like that. I love that. Can't see who that number is. It got bumped off the track. It's on a Kawasaki coming around right there. What is that number, Andy? You got better eyes than I do.
Yeah, 454. That's Colton Keeling out of Yuma, Arizona.
He kind of said something to the rider who bumped into him after as Colton went by there. He says, hey, man, it's too early to be doing this stuff.
You think that's what he said?
Absolutely. Well, he might have had some other four-letter word in there also.
Yeah, well, we are. This is ODOTCO Stadium, home of the Oakland Raiders, you know, in the black hole.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's been some pleasantries exchanged here in the end zone many times.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know me, I'm a kind of a baseball guy. The Oakland A's, they play here a lot of good memories here. That's the checkered flag, so that's it for this one. So it looks like Barger looks like he's going to hang on to this thing a minute flat. Minute flat for him, that's not bad. Up and over that Monster Energy finish line there. Go to the mechanics area. Don't forget to pick up your mechanics. You see some of the mechanics coming out here. You know, some of the guys for the next practice that's coming up, which I believe that is going to be the A guys. That's the big boys coming out here. See some of the mechanics, what they're doing right there. They're kind of, you know, packing some things down. They're kind of doing their own gardening out there, just making sure that it's a little bit good, you know, for practice starts. I mean, that's the key. That's what they're doing, because that's where the guys come out. They'll sit down, they'll compress the front end there, the whole shot device, and they'll get ready to go. So their mechanics are out there kind of packing behind there. And what happens on that is you can do anything you can behind the starting gate, packing it down. So you'll see the riders come out, and each rider's mechanic was out there packing that spot. So he's going to say, hey, this is what I want you to see. As you see Shane McElrath there, you see Justin Hill right there. Those guys, they get a chance to kind of practice a start, even though it's not behind the gate, but they kind of get a feel for what that bike's going to do. If they're going to get traction, if things, you know, wheelie with them, hey, next time I come out for the next practice, I got to change my body positioning. I got to get up front on the bike a little bit more. So this is a true test to see what we have here. And they're looking around, looking at them. They're just chomping at the bit. Waiting for that green flag. Where's that green flag at, guys? Come on now.
The Troy Lee guys jumped out first in the last time they were on the track. So McElrath and Nelson, they were really getting around good.
Oh, man, Freeberg, he really wants to get out there. He's just looking over. Kind of reminds me of a desert start. You're looking around for the ball. There you go. Oh, look out. Oh, Nelson. Nelson, hey. And Osborne over there. He's going, hey, that was a green flag, wasn't it? See, they're looking at that AMA guy right back there. He's holding them. He's down there past them. You know, if you start, man, that's just going to piss off somebody. If you just took off.
There they go.
There it is. It's like the start. Look at McElrath. He got that whole shot in this first time session.
This is going to be great racing. It's been great throughout the first 3 rounds. And that number 32 right there, He's from Washington, but you know the Northern California area was kind of his stomping grounds growing up in the amateur ranks. So Justin Hill, he wants to reassert himself in this championship. He's really going to have to get a win.
Well, and the other thing too is, you know, you talk about Hill and Osborne and Hansen. They are the only guys in this 250 class that's had podiums here before in Oakland. So I mean, those 3 guys have experience of getting to be up on that on the box there. And something else that's interesting, you know, guys, you know, like Anderson, Roczen, Tomac, and Tickle, they've all won here in Oakland in the 250 class. Can they do it in the 450? They'll be the first ones to go win a 250, 450. No one's done that yet.
Awesome. You know, Hill's been sick. He had a big crash preseason, had a concussion. Then he got ill, and it's just kind of hard to train and find your groove. But he's been better. Got his first podium last weekend, and I think he's really going to turn it on tonight. It's going to be awesome to see how he does.
This is a kid right here, number 40, Shane McElrath. I'm really, you know, I know he's been with Troy Lee a little bit of time now. He hasn't had a podium. He's looking for a podium. He sees his teammate winning him, and he wants to go out there and get this thing on the podium. And he kind of takes a page out of Jesse Nelson's playbook. Hey, we've seen Jesse in the past get that whole shot in this you know, first free practice and lay down some good lap times.
Well, Shane went out there and won that heat race last week, and I think that really did a lot for his confidence. It was kind of unfortunate that him and Hansen got together, and he's ended up on the south end of the stick in that deal, but he showed he's got the speed. Right now he's showing these guys the fast way around the track, although it is his teammate with the fastest lap so far, Nelson.
Yeah, by almost a full second there. There's that step on, step off into that right-hander. You see already we're starting to come out of that right-hander there. There's 5 little grooves, 5 different lines. This is that mogul section. They're trying to pick their way through. And
they go 3.
Triple.
Triple again.
Triple again. Well, you didn't quite get that last triple. That's a huge jump right there, that triple there.
And one thing about the Troy Lee guys, they're definitely showing up. And there's our rookie. Plessinger finally had a bad race last weekend. He just went down and he couldn't make up the ground. But he's been good so far, and a lot of speed, really good kid. Does really good interviews.
I mean, I think that 13th, he wasn't happy with that, but not bad. But all in all, I mean, you know, for his rookie season, you know, he's still sitting 6th in the points. You know, he's got 40 points. He's only a few behind, well, he's actually 1, 2. Shane McElrath and Stewart breathing down his neck. Yeah. They got 39 points.
Well, Plessinger's definitely been a quick study. He's comfortable out there. He hasn't really gotten the best starts yet, but he has shown he can come through the pack. Definitely been impressive.
I think the guys, we'll have to ask Bobby Reagan, the team owner that Star Racing, Yamalu, Rockstar ride over there. We'll have to ask him what, you know, how are they molding this kid? Are they happy with his performances? You got to be happy. I think the main thing when you got a rookie like that, you say, look, I want you to beat all 9 rounds on the West Coast. I don't want you sitting in plaster somewhere because you're not learning anything in plaster. So let's just go out. We're not going to put no pressure on it. All the pressure's on Cooper Webb to win.
Ooh. There's Chris Aldridge, and he went for a ride last weekend. You know, he almost had that crash saved, but went down pretty hard and had to exit the main event. I think he's another rookie, you know. He's just learning, but you know, one thing that you can't buy, you can't teach, and that's speed.
No.
He's got a lot of it.
Well, we saw him earlier in that free practice, huck that big triple over there and kind of came up short on that. That definitely got the attention of his ankles and his wrists and his shoulders, but he was okay. He rode through it. He didn't crash, but you know, that's a rookie mistake that now you can go out there and there's that triple we're talking about. You can do it every lap. That free practice, it was a little bit wet. Coming up to it, he probably spun a little bit, lost a lot of his momentum, and as soon as you're in the air on that, Andy, you know as well as I do, you know halfway through that, oh man, I don't have enough speed to clear this.
He knew he's going to need a lawyer for that case. He landed hard. Look who jumped right up there to the top, though. The big bad wolf, Cooper Webb. Looks like a 54.9. That's a half a second faster than Tyler Bowers. Well, there's Hill, 53.7. That's a heater.
Yeah, they're gonna keep dropping from that and below that. Look at Zach Bell in that fourth now.
Aldridge, you know, looks like he's hurt his hand a little.
Yeah, definitely he's kind of trying to adjust his front brake there. We'll see if he pulls into the mechanics there. Hopefully not. Hopefully he's okay.
Might have just got a rock.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, a lot of the guys, you know, in years past, there's that triple,
Oh,
and
man.
hang on to it.
Sorry about that,
Definitely
folks.
got it. That definitely got his attention. It got your attention. I know it got his attention.
Man, he's had some close calls today already.
Yeah, you just kind of look at that and you go back to the truck and say, hey, you know, are you all right? Take it easy out there, man. You're scaring us. Scaring Andy anyhow.
Yeah, but you need to be dropping the front end in those rhythm sections, that's for sure. Gotta keep your focus out there. This track will reach up and bite you if you're not paying attention. It's Justin Hill still. Run down to your top 5. We got Justin Hill, Cooper Webb, Alex Martin. That's a good lap for him. Zach Bell, Malcolm Stewart. And we'll go through the top 10. In 6th place is Bowers, 7th is Nelson, 8th is Plessinger, 9th is Osborne, and 10th is Scott Champion.
And after Champion there in that 11th, Shane McElrath, Jackson Richardson, and Josh Hansen 13th, Austin Puddle Kelly, Freeberg 15th there, Aldridge, who we just saw do that panic rev, sitting in 16th.
Oh man, somebody's down hard.
Yeah, that looks to me like it might be Michael Lieb. He's all in white down there. Hopefully he's okay. Michael Lieb, but you're going to see the bike down
Michael
there.
Lieb.
Yeah, Michael Lieb. Unfortunate for Michael Lieb going down in that section there, but the Asterix, Dr. Don Bogner is right on top of him, working on him, checking him out, talking to him. Hey, you're all right. And I think that's Travis with the Feld track crew. See, with the helmet on and everything, they're going to put the red flag out on this one. They're definitely going to call this one. They'll come back. They're going to regroup. They got about 2:58 left in this, and we'll see. You see all the flags out there. So hopefully Michael Lieb gets up and he's okay from that little get off he had.
That was one of those scary ones. I heard that one. I heard it behind me, and lo and behold, I turned around and it was, yeah.
Robert Kelly down there with the yellow flag, keeping everybody calm down there. Robert's responsible for bringing all the flagmen out here for the West Coast events. Robert does a good job. I think he's been around 30 years or so. They're going to get the Asterix Mobile Medical mule over there. Eddie Casillas driving that. So, yep, we're in a little bit of a break here.
Let's keep our well wishes and prayers with Michael Lieb right now. We'll update you as soon as we can on him. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break, so we'll be right back. Grab yourself a Monster, and we'll see you shortly.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Malcolm Stewart. Come check me out at Race Day Live. Better be there.
And we're back at O.Co Stadium in Oakland, California. We're currently under a red flag condition for Michael Lieb. They're still tending to him right now. Jim, you've been in this situation before, and you know when your buddy's out there and he's hurt, and you still know you're going to go out and finish your practice. What's going through your head?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, you know, as for, you know, Michael Lieb knows all these guys. All these guys know Michael Lieb, and they know he's down, and they hope everything's all right. But in the back of your mind, you know, you're hoping he's okay. But in the back, you still got 2 minutes and 58 seconds to, you know, finish out there for this first time qualifying practice. Hill's leading it with a 53.7. Right behind him in second, Cooper Webb a 54.6. You're down there, you're kind of talking to your mechanics. They're talking to, maybe they're making a couple changes on the bike. The other thing is they're just, you know, talking to other guys. But they got Michael Lieb up, and he's in there. He's talking to him and everything. You can see they're loading him on the Asterix rule. But it's good that Michael Lieb, you know, he's got his helmet off. They're talking to him. He's in great hands. I mean, that Asterix mobile medical unit up there, it's like a hospital on wheels. So he's in great hands.
Yeah, we're certainly blessed to have the Asterix medical unit with us. You know, it's such a good addition to Supercross, and you can see the boys shaking their goggles out and putting them back on, and they're going to get back after it here shortly.
Yeah.
We had some interviews this morning. We talked to some guys on the track walk, so please enjoy them. Andy Boyer with Race Day Live, presented by AMSOIL. We're here with XPR Motorsports and Jackson Richardson. You're straight off an 11th place finish last weekend, man. That's a good ride. How you feeling so far this season?
Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, last week was a solid ride. We got some good starts all night in the heat race and in the main, and Yeah, to finish with an 11th was good. I mean, the first 2 rounds didn't go how we wanted it to, but no, it's been good, and we've had a solid week this week, and hopefully we can build on that 11th.
Well, you're up against the super teams, you know, and you're here from Australia. You got your van, and this is the soul of the sport, you know, and it's really cool to see somebody like you doing it on your own and making it happen. I mean, you're out there vying for top 10s and looking for more.
Yeah, I mean, we got a good group of people that we got helping me out, and XPR Motorsports, Chad Braun has just put in a tremendous amount of work over the years, and this year we've really hit it hard. We've got the bike dialed in a lot this year, and like as it showed last weekend, we got great starts, and like we've been working a lot with the suspension as well, and it's been paying off.
Well, you got a little bit different dirt here. It's a little more loamy. Is that more like of your liking, or how's that going to work for you tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I love the loamy stuff. I've never been here before, but I've seen a lot of footage and I've studied it a lot, and it is a lot softer than the usual West Coast tracks. So yeah, it'll be good. I'm keen for it.
So has your hard work been paying off? Is the phone starting to ring with these good starts and good finishes yet?
Not just yet. We got a lot more to do. I just want to work on being a lot more consistent with my results, not be so up and down. But we're working towards it, and hopefully that'll happen soon.
Well, Jackson Richardson's got his mom, he's got his girlfriend, and a Ford van, and he's making it happen. Keep your eye on this guy tonight in Oakland.
Jim Hall.
And we're back rolling. There's Cooper Webb. He's second place so far in this practice.
Looks like he made a little mistake in that sand there. You see him get a little bit cross-rutted there.
They've only got a couple minutes left, exactly a minute and 45 seconds. So maybe 1 or 2 laps to finish out this with a good heater and see who's going to be the fastest.
And he looks like he was on a heater, but I'm not sure that he didn't take away a couple tenths in that sand right there. There's that triple right there. Another triple. Watch out for the EC tough block there. And
Jim, what's that like? These guys were warmed up. They were out there. They were going for super fast laps. Then they had to sit for a while.
Well, your heart rate, for one, I mean, when you're out there, it's, you know, probably 160, 180. Depends if you have a panic rev, it might get up to 200. And then to come down, it probably got back down into the, you know, resting heart rate, maybe at 40, 50. And now you got to get it back up there, and you're only going to have it for a minute left. That's it. So. But that wasn't a good lap for him because Cooper Webb, he had to miss that triple over there. We'll see if he can rebound this week, or this next lap. But we'll see if Shane McGrath can jump up there a little bit. I'm surprised he's sitting down there in that 11th. But Shane's not a guy that races the clock. I've talked to him before about this, and he says, you know what? I'm just a kid from North Carolina, and I just like racing. I don't like racing the clock.
He's just finding his flow out there. You can tell he's kind of laboring in the corners and just floating it over the triples.
Well, you see he looked over, and I'm not sure he wasn't looking over at that the finish line jump, because it says 22, 21 seconds left in this practice, and he's trying to see if he can get another lap under his belt, but I doubt it. They're going to get ready to throw that checkered flag in about 10 seconds from now.
Yep. It's still Justin Hill holding on to your top spot here in this practice.
Yeah, I didn't think too much was going to change, you know, especially, well, there you go, Zach Bell up into second there. That was a good time for him, a 54-2. Checkered flag's out, this one's over, but I didn't think too much was going to change because of the fact that there wasn't that much time in it. And you know what, they still got another qualifying time practice to go, but
Mookie jumping him up in the second. You know, with Bell, it's interesting because he was the whole shot kid. You know, every race he was in, he pulled the whole shot. And so far this season, he's had to come through the pack in every one of his races. He's kind of forgotten how to get off the line. But if he does, he has the speed to run up front, I believe.
Yeah, but that key there is, does he have the speed to run the whole complete 15 laps? That's the big thing there. We've seen him lead heat races and lead main events and things like that, but you got to lead it for 15 laps. You can be fast out there, but if you're only fast for 6 laps and you throw it away, that's no good. So I think that they're trying to tell him just to, you know, take it easy out there. Now we see the big boys starting to roll out there, Tomac and Dungey. Let's see some of the, look at all the equipment they have down there. And some of the Fox Sports 1 cameras out there. There's the podium down there.
And once again, your top 5 was Justin Hill, Malcolm Stewart, Cooper Webb, Zach Bell, and Jesse Nelson.
What are you doing so different? You know, a little bit of confidence. I'm starting to get my groove a little bit. The track's pretty tricky and there's lines everywhere, so it suits me a little bit. I get to have a little bit of fun up there and find some good lines, so the track's shaping up good. I can't wait for tonight.
It seems like bike setup is going to be pretty big here in Oakland tonight. The track has some technical sections. Also, you have to be really precise on these rhythms. Is there anything that you guys are working on from this morning into this qualifying and the next one?
Pretty small changes from the first session to now. But me and my whole team, KTM, we did a bunch of work this week and try to get the bike a little bit better. Even though I told them it was all me, and they, you know, they still were trying to put it down and give me a better setup. So we're doing good.
When you say it was all you, you've been battling this sickness that's been going around. How are you feeling this week?
Much better, absolutely.
Well, I like to hear that because a healthy Justin Hill is a fast Justin Hill. He had his first podium last weekend at round number 3, and he was the first rider to go into the 53 seconds here in Oakland. One more time for the Red Bull KTM rider, Justin Hill.
And look who it is out there again leading these guys around, Jason Anderson. He does it every weekend. He jumps out and tries to get his fast lap right off the bat.
Well, I mean, that opener in Anaheim when he got that second place behind Kenny Roczen, he had a great start. These, you know, Phoenix, he had some problems. Anaheim, bad starts, getting collected up into Andrew Short last week. You know, he knows how important it is to get out front and lay down some good lap times, especially here. So we're seeing that big 450 Husqvarna working out there.
He's been really impressive. I'm not going to say I was surprised. I knew he was going to be fast after winning that 250 West Coast Championship last year. But it's going to be interesting to see what he can do at the start. I think he has the speed. I think he has the stamina. He's from the, you know, Alden Baker factory, and he can get the job done, that's for sure. We want to thank you guys for tuning in. We want to thank our diehard fans that tune in every weekend. Chris Breen, John Motto, and the Hedgehog. Thank you guys for tuning in and joining us on the chat room and contributing.
Look at Dungey getting aggressive with Weimer there.
This could be Dungey's weekend, you never know. Weimer's been pretty solid too. He had a bad weekend last weekend in Anaheim too. But he started out pretty solid. He's on that Team Tedder KX 450F.
Yeah, I know that, you know, 17th last weekend, not that good for him, but I mean, if you look down into the point standings for him, he's actually sitting 13th, 26 points, couple behind Blake Baggett, who sits in 12th with 28. So he's still, you know, I'm sure that some of their goals at the Tedder Racing over there, I think some of their goals is to try to get him into that top 10.
Yeah, he can do it. He's definitely a top 10 guy, maybe a little bit more. You got to remember, Jake Weimer's a former 250 West Supercross champion. He can get the job done.
There's another 250 West Coast champion, Anderson.
The current, yeah.
He can get it done.
And your top 5 so far: Ken Roczen, Chad Reed jumping up to 2nd, then Trey Canard. How about that? And 4th place is Barsha. 5th place is Andrew Short. He's been fast all year. Short has. Had a tough crash last weekend.
Yeah.
Dungey, Seeley, Tomac, Anderson, and Albertson. Jimmy Albertson, the privateer, in 10th place.
And you talk to Jimmy Albertson collecting that $1,500 from supercrosslive.com. His first hole shot in the 450 class in his career, so good for him to get that. I'm sure that money can be well spent getting him to the next race. Seeley, he looks good today. He looks good. See, he's trying different lines. See how he's on the far left-hand side, staying out of the ruts there. He's in that rut there. He's making something work for him, Seeley. That 6th place gave him a lot of confidence last week.
Yeah, I like Cole. You know, winning that heat race and, you know, getting that good finish in the main event, he's right there. You know, Anderson's stolen kind of a lot of the rookie thunder, but Cole Seeley can win a race. You know, he's that good. He's that consistent. He's super smart. He's on a great bike. He's gonna be up front all year long.
And his teammate there is also on that same equal factory Honda bike, and he's up top on the leaderboard right now. Trey Canard with a 53.6. So, you know, Trey could have his first win of 2015 here. But it's Trey Canard, Ken Roczen, Eli Tomac, Seeley in 4th, and Reed drops down to 5th now.
It's funny how the racing gods, you know, how it works out sometimes when you see a guy like Canard go through that much diversity. And I guarantee you he's been training hard this week, and he'll come in guns a-blazing tonight.
Yeah, we got a chance earlier on the track walk. I got a chance to talk to him. I said, hey, don't want to talk to you about last week. I want to talk to you about this week.
Yeah.
It's Oakland. How are you going to do here, you know? So as Reed's kind of checking out a few things right there, just kind of rolling over a few sections.
And we know Chad Reed wants a better weekend this time for sure.
Australian colors there, right on the flag there, the yellow-green.
You know, with a 10th and a 10th, and he was mixing it up in the top 5 last weekend, had a little bit more speed perhaps, and just needs to get a good main event under his belt and get to kind of loosen up and get his mojo going.
Well, and he's had good results here in Oakland. Oakland's been good for him. I remember a few years back, this was one of his first podiums. And Chad Reed, look at there's him and Trey Canard are together right there. And Trey's probably following around. But these guys are true champions. You know, what happened last week, that's behind them. They're moving on. It's done. It's over with. Unless they get together today again.
Yeah. It's funny when you have a beef like that, you end up right next to him in practice the next weekend. It's just it's always how it goes.
Well, the other thing, you know, I wanted to mention about Chad Reed is Chad Reed has never gone 4 races in a season without a podium. Yeah. And he's on the verge. If he doesn't get on the podium tonight, that's 4 rounds into there. So new territory for Chad Reed. And I know he wants to get a podium out, not only for himself, but for, you know, Lars, his mechanic. I mean, actually not Lars, Goose. There goes Trey Canard over his head on the Monster Energy finish line. Reed probably felt him and said, hey, I want to come in. I want to make some changes. He's going to go in there and talk to Mike Gosler, make some changes to the bike. And
no. Chad Reed, you know, that was his heater lap. It's a 54 flat. That's not bad at all. It's a full second off of Ken Roczen right now, though. That's the problem. You know, we got Ken Roczen with a 53 flat, Canard with a 53.2, Cole Seeley with a 53.4, Eli Tomac with a 53.5, and then Chad Reed with that 54 flat.
Yeah, but Chad's going to go in. He's going to make a change. We saw him as one of the riders right here at number 11. It was good to see Chisholm out there. He made the main event last week, the first of his 2015 season, so it was good to see Kyle Chisholm in that main event last week in Anaheim. But getting back to Chad Reed, I mean, you know, 54 flat, he's capable of 53s. That's why he probably went into the pit. Chad's a wily veteran. He knows the motorcycle. Probably make a couple little changes on the bike and come in, and next thing you know, his lap time will be in the 53s.
Yeah, it's been the same story all year long. Look at that, Jim. Look at the top 13 guys, 14 guys. They're all within 2 seconds. That's just amazing.
Yeah, and even the guys that aren't within that, you know, Partridge Way, Brett Metcalf, Albertson, Chisholm, all those guys, you know, they're not that far out of it either,
no.
You know? So, I mean, it's going to be close racing tonight. Ken Roczen kind of rolling around there, checking a few things out. He's always got that GoPro on the top of his helmet.
Yeah. It's always cool to see how those guys get around the track from their view, you know, from their eyes.
Well, and Kenny looks like he's trying to find a little bit of a break in the action here. You see him kind of looking back behind him where he can get a good clean spot to try to go out and better his time, maybe get it into the, you know, high 52s or something. But Kenny, what I like about Kenny is he's very courteous. You see how he's on the left-hand side of the track. He's staying out of everybody's way. He's looking behind him, making sure I'm not getting in nobody's way. Oh, and then we're going to see the red cross flag come out there. So that's going to kind of derail him from getting that fast lap time with a minute 40 left in this practice here in this A group here, the first one of their first of 2 time practice sessions.
That's it. We got 3 Hondas in the top 5. Seeley, Canard, and Tomac.
Yeah, I think the track's great right now.
It does look really good. The moisture's starting to come up. We're going to put some more down, but track looks good. We're going to see some really good racing tonight. I think we're going to see a lot of passes.
Yeah, I'm amazed at, you know, each and every week we come to these, and we're just big fans. I mean, let's face it.
The luckiest fans there are.
We're the luckiest guys to be here in Oakland. We're getting a chance to talk about the sport. We love it, and watch the best Supercross riders in the world go out and work their magic. I mean, and some of it, I do say magic. It's a lot of skill and a lot of training and preparation, but it's true magic and poetry in motion to watch these guys out here.
I always called them Jedis, you know. I mean, I was a professional motocross racer, and I was pretty good, but there's just other guys at this level that it's the only thing I could explain. They got to be Jedis or something. They're just too good. They make it look so easy. There's Justin Barsha jumping up into the top 5. I tell you, just it's hard to be any more impressed with Ken Roczen, though. I mean, I've talked about him a lot, and I took a little bit of flack in my column this week, and he's got a 12-point lead, you know, and who's next is his theme this year. Wow, did you see that line?
Yeah, no, that line that Ken Roczen has, as we turn around, we're watching Dungey right now, but that line, I mean, Kenny's getting creative with his lines.
Well, right here, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching Dungey, he jumped out of there and landed on one of those rollers halfway through that corner. So, like I was saying, you know, Kenny's he's amazing. He's really, really impressed, and it'll be interesting to see if he can keep it going. That guy right there is going to be gunning for him, though. He's in second place. It's familiar ground for Dungey, the Diesel. He won't waver. He'll be there all year. Like, he'll finish on the podium between 12 and 13 times, I think, this year.
Yeah, well, I mean, you talk about Dungey, you know, on his, you know, after that second, that was the 59th career podium for Dungey. I mean, that's huge. And then you look at a guy like Kenny Roczen, you know, that was, you know, his 12th podium with that win last weekend out of 24 starts. So half of his starts have been on the podium. And up to date this year, he has led 46 laps of all the main events. He leads, you know, all other riders as far as leading main events. So he's putting himself in a good position.
Old Trey. Trey's going to take it. Your top 5 at the end of this practice is Canard, Roczen, Seeley, Dungey, Barsha. We'll go through the top 10. 6th is Tomac, 7th is Reed, 8th is Anderson, 9th is Weimer, and 10th is Josh Grant.
Yeah, 52.8 for Trey Canard. I mean, that's one of the guys that, you know, if you're listening to us.
Lap or two by you jumping up to the top of the leaderboard, and that's where you want to be, you know, set the pace and set the mark.
Yeah, you know, this lap time doesn't mean a whole lot right now, but man, it sure helps. So man, we just got to keep trying to move forward, and all the boys at Honda doing a really great job.
You know, yes, we're in California, but it's a little different than what we've seen at the 2 Anaheim rounds and Phoenix. The dirt's a little different.
Yeah, definitely a lot of ruts today, especially the water that was put on it. But, man, I think it's going to make for a great racetrack, so hopefully we can be up front.
Does it, with the kind of dirt you have here, does it allow you to be a little more aggressive going in or coming out of turns?
Yeah, for sure, and there's a lot of lines. So it's going to create some interesting racing, so hopefully we can get that good start and have a good race.
And you're off to a good start of the 2015 season. Let's give it up for the 41 of Trey Canard.
Good run for
There's that thumbs up, that eye. I mean, he's looking good. Oh, it's going to be hard to make some picks today.
Yeah, it's exciting to hear Trey talk like that. You know, he says there's a lot of different lines out there. He thinks there's going to be a lot of good passing. It's going to be exciting. Right now, here's our 450B group.
Yeah, you're going to see one of the guys out there, number 75. That's Josh Hill. Josh Hill struggling a little bit. He made the main event in Anaheim, but Phoenix and Anaheim last weekend did not make that main event on the Valley Yamaha team.
That's Kylian Rusk right there. He's out of Temecula, California. He's sponsored by Slater Skin, Blue Buffalo, Yamaha, Rusk Racing, AXO, National Hail and Dent. So,
yeah, Rusk, he's had some pretty good time. There's Josh Hill that we were talking about.
Yes, sir.
But you know, you get talking about Kylian Rusk there. You know, he hasn't made a main event yet this year, so he's gunning to get his first main under his belt.
Like you were saying, Jim, Josh Hill, he's had a tough go of it. He's bounced around between rides. He spent some time on that Kawasaki 450 in the off-season, jumped on this Yamaha right at the last minute. You know, it's a great bike. It's just new to him, and he needs to get in those main events and really show the talent that he has.
Well, you know, on the other side of that, too, is you got to remember that last year he had a third. Look at how he jumped that. I'm sure they're going to maybe change that. That line's not going to work there. I can tell you that right now, because you can't jump like that from the inside and still do that Monster Energy finish line. It's just too big of a jump to do there. But you know, getting back to Hill, the MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey, will be back there later on this year in April. But he had a third, and he was riding for the you know, RCH Suzuki Jimmy John's Suzuki team there.
Yeah.
And then he goes up to Cannon. We lost the front end on Kylian Rusk there. He just didn't turn the throttle on. I'm sure, I think that was him. Was that?
That was him. That was Rusk.
He lost that front end. He didn't turn the throttle on. You got to turn the throttle on. And you know, that's something. If you know, I was talking to him and working with him. I said, how come you didn't turn the throttle on? I watched him. I didn't see his wrist go down. As soon as that front end starts to push and go down with it, you got to grab a handful of throttle. But getting back with Hill, he was on a Suzuki. Then he goes up to Canada and rides a Kawasaki, and now he's back on a Yamaha. He only got on that Yamaha 2 weeks before the start of the season. So, you know, we talked to him earlier in the pits, and he's still getting used to it. They're still testing. I know Ross Mieta at Enzo gave him some good suspension settings this week, and he seemed to be happy with that. So we'll see if number 75 can get it in the main.
He's a really good kid. I've always liked Josh. You know, back in my rider support days at Fox Racing, he was one of my kids, and he's got a great attitude. He's been through a lot. You know, when he did that backflip 3 or 4 years ago, his foot's still messed up. It's not all together the way it used to be for Josh Hill, but he's determined. Him and his brother both. Awesome kids.
Yeah, they got a great family. Their mom and dad always come to the races. Grandpa Hill comes, you know, and stuff. I mean, it's good.
He's certainly the fastest one in this group by far, by a second and a half.
Well, look who's behind him, Martin Davalos. And I talked to Dave Gowan and Bobby Hewitt a little bit last night at dinner, and they said, you know, hey, I didn't see Martin start a race. I saw him out there in practice. He goes, yeah, we just wanted to go out and practice. He's going to try to get that Husky in the main event tonight. So look for Martin Davalos to start some heat races. Hey. Last week was just kind of a little, just a little tease for him. Well, there's a guy, Ronnie Stewart. I'm not sure where Ronnie's doing that jump. They're looking for a last lap pass. If you're going to have a difference of not going to the main event or going to the main event in that last chance race, that's it. If you can get underneath there and do that and block the guy from doing it, the timing and scoring is right across the tip of the first one. It's not the second one. So whoever front wheel hits there first, that's it. So these guys, Ronnie Stewart's a wily, he's not a veteran, but he's a wily rider. He knows how to get that bike in the main event. And Josh Hill, I know in Phoenix, that last lap, the right-hander before the Monster Energy, that's where he lost it. So they're trying to figure out something where if they come into that last chance and they got it, they're not going to leave that door open. And if someone leaves the door open, they're going to go to the inside.
It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out tonight for sure. There's the Cat, AJ Catanzaro, got into the main event in Phoenix and had a good run.
Yeah, see, a lot of these guys, riding Suzukis now. Ronnie Stewart rode a Suzuki last year, but I know AJ Catanzaro, he changed. He's riding a Suzuki this year. We see that white flag with the red cross again, and that just really just it takes the wind out of your sails when a rider's down. He's up and okay. I can't see the rider, but if you're on a hot lap and you see that, I'm trying to see who that rider was. It looks like he's on a Yamaha. Is that Phil Nicoletti? I can't see. Yeah, it was 46, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil Nicoletti having some problems out there, and as we're watching AJ Catanzaro, but that red cross flag was Phil Nicoletti having some problems, but he's back up and okay now. And so they got a green track again now.
Oh no, another crash on that triple out of the corner.
Another one. Yeah. Same place where Michael Lieb
went down. Yep.
Can't see that rider's number either. Yeah, that's too bad. But Josh Hill with a 54.5, and there's Vince Freeze up there with a 56.6, and Martin Davalos with a 57 flat. Looks like this rider's up and talking to the Asterix guys, but they're going to put that red cross flag out. And that's a bummer. I mean, there's 3 minutes and 41 seconds left to go in this practice, and I don't think they're going to throw the red flag because they're talking to the rider and everything. They're just going to block it. That's Alex Ray out there, 314. Hopefully Alex Ray's okay. I mean, Alex is a good kid and out of Tennessee, and just hopefully he can be okay and get down and finish out some of these West Coast and get to Atlanta where he gets some good home cooking in Tennessee there. But Alex Ray's standing up. I think he just got the wind knocked out of him. Alex is a tough kid.
Out. Yeah.
Now we got the red flag.
But he's up. This will be.
Yeah, that's good. They don't have to bring the Asterix mule over here. Alex Ray's walking off with a little bit of help from some of the medics and the Asterix guys, John Bachner and the boys down there, Eddie Casillas. But Phil Nicoletti, I'm surprised at his sitting down there in 9th with a 59.9. And we were talking earlier in the show, who do you think would be faster, either him or Vince Freeze? Well, we answered that question, Vince Freeze. I thought maybe Phil, but
it's not the first time that we're going to be wrong there. But Freeze, he's fast. He's stealthy. He's one of those guys you never know. He's got a lot of speed. But Nicoletti with a 59.9, he's way off the pace. That's 4 seconds off the pace, so who knows if he's even gotten in a good lap yet. He's only been out there for 4 laps. That's all he's carded. So,
yeah. Looks like Tim McAdams down there with the red flag. The AMA official is back to us there. And you see number 102 there. That's the man from Australia. And look at Vince Freeze, 45. He's chomping at that. See his front end? It's already collapsed. A lot of the other guys don't have him collapsed. Vince wants to try a start. He's saying, I want to try a start.
You know, I talked to Tony Alessi, his team manager, and I asked him why he was on a Honda, and he said he rode the Suzuki, he rode Mike's bike, and said it was too fast. Said he didn't like it. So he's on a Honda there. He likes the smooth power delivery and that smart top Moto Concepts ride. Wouldn't be surprised to see him in the main event.
There's Adam Intignap. I know his sponsor, Wanda's here helping him out. He hopes he can get that bike into the main event for Adam Intignap. He's been struggling also, the 7 Deuce. But Vince Freeze, he's not struggling now, boy. He's out. There's Hill. Look at Hill. He's doing it the right way. He says, let all you young punks go out there. I've been around the sport a long time. I know how critical this start is.
We got just under 3 minutes to go here, so we're going to see about 2 or 3 heater laps out of these guys, and that's going to do it for 450B qualifying. I don't know if we're going to see anybody get up there and beat Hill's 54.5. If anybody's going to do it, maybe Martin Davalos can drop a few seconds there.
Yeah, that rider behind Hill, that looked like another Suzuki, Dustin Pipes, but he went out of frame right there. But Dustin Pipes is out there, and he's not doing too bad. I mean, he's got to, you know, pick it up a little bit. He's down there in 18th right now. Raper in 17th there. Adam Intignap in 16th there, so you got to bring it up there. And see a couple other guys,
There's
you know.
Nick Schmidt, Milestone Assassin. Whoa. Yeah, you can get in trouble pretty fast there. Your momentum's carrying your rear tire out to the outside. You got to bring it back to get set up for that right-handed corner.
Yeah, absolutely. And another guy that I'm surprised down in 7th, Matt Moss. I mean, Matt Moss, he should have had that Suzuki in the main event a few races ago. He's only over here for about the first 6 rounds, I think, and then he has to head back to Australia and start, you know, racing over there again.
There's some pretty fast guys in this class, Jim. I mean, Freezy, Davalos, Stewart, Catanzaro, Frederick Norin, Matt Moss.
All those guys
Nicoletti.
you just named off,
yeah.
the top 9 guys, they all can be in that main event,
Absolutely.
and they know it. So with that being said, you got the A guys where it's 20 guys, and you got 9 guys here. Well, we only take 22.
It's tough.
And we're missing a couple guys.
We're missing.
You talk about D.
4 or 5
Wilson
guys, yeah.
and
Pike.
You know, Pike. All these
Alessi.
guys. Alessi. You know, there's 3. And there we just ran off 29 guys.
Yeah, we knew, you know, that was the theme coming into the season. It's who's next. This thing's stacked. You know, Roczen's kind of skating away early in the going, but the season's still early, man. There's a lot of racing to go. Well, Nick Schmidt, you know, he got in the main event a lot last year here, number 70. Just hasn't quite been able to do it yet. He's got the talent. I think he's on a good bike this year. He just needs to get some starts and see if he can get it done.
I don't know. He might be second guessing himself. He rode Hondas last year and he was in the main event.
Could be that simple.
Well, like you said, Vince Freeze, you know, he just didn't like the power delivery of the Suzuki and opted to ride the Honda.
Wow.
Look at that.
I
Hill.
told you he had talent. I mean, that's
Wheeling
awesome.
all the way through the whoops there for Hill.
That's the line that Roczen did. Hill almost did it. He's jumping halfway into that mogul corner.
Well, let's see. Maybe he'll drop his time on this or not. I don't know. That's the. You got the triple. You're going to come back around.
Yeah, he's just
a couple more. Yeah, I don't think he's on a heater. I think he knows that 54.3. And look at Vince Freeze at a 55.7. So, I mean, Hill has nothing to worry about.
I think Hill looks good. He looks loose. Like I say, this is as close as it gets. The series gets to his home state. I'm going to go out on a limb and say we're definitely going to see him in the main event tonight, possibly in the top 10.
Well, he just saw that checker flag, so you know this one's over.
Yeah. That will do it for 450B qualifying.
I'm not so sure what he's talking to the AMA guy about with the yellow flag. I'm thinking he thought maybe he should get another lap. I think that's what he was talking. He's going to go over and talk to Tim McAdams right now. I'm almost sure that's what Hill's talking about. He goes, hey, man, I was on a heater. I needed it. No, Tim's going, nope, you can't do it. Nope, you saw the flag. There you go. No, I'm sorry. Next time. I don't know what he's worried about. He set fast time.
Might be talking to him about this line right there.
Could be, could be.
Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting line tonight. I'm not so sure if
sometimes
they might change something.
Well, sometimes they'll put a little plastic pole there or something, don't they, Jim?
Yep, yeah. You can't really cut off that much of the track there. They'll probably make a change to that. They've seen a lot of the guys doing it now, so yeah. And I think it's a safety thing too, because if you're on the outside and you're going to sweep around there and you got a guy jumping in, I mean that
can get ugly quick.
Yeah, it's just you know, one of those things. You're going to see some of the guys, they're going to move the Falcon tires over there for the sand, you know, make sure so no one turns that way. I think they know where it is. I think it's about time. Andy, you got your new mug, man?
Cheers, man.
This new mug is pretty cool.
The knobbies to knobbies.
Look, we got a connecting rod, a piston. We got some Dunlop tires behind there. It's
some MX32s on there. Yeah. What do you think so far, Jim? The track looks good. Trey Canard's your fastest in the big boys. It's going to be good.
Yeah, I think tonight's going to be, it's round 4. I mean, some of the nerves are out. These guys have had a few races underneath their belt. Now it's time to, to get to work and go out there and put bikes into the main event that should be into the main event. And guys that haven't won races in 2015 should win their races here in Oakland. I mean, it's like I said, we have the best job in the world. Coming to the races every Saturday night and calling live race day live time practice. I mean, I enjoy it. I mean, this is the only show that you're going to get live timing and scoring and somebody talking about what's going on. So we're good.
It's just awesome. And again, we want to thank all you guys at home for tuning in. International viewers, our domestic viewers, use your hashtags. Supercross on Fox, hashtag Race Day Live. Send us some cool photos. We'll put you right in the front of the website. You can check yourself out.
See, this practice here, Andy, you're going to look at the 450C quality. 10 guys.
That's it.
That's it. I like this practice because this is perfect for these guys. These guys need this. They need the room on the track to experiment a few things, and they're going to go out there and put down some good lap times. One of the guys did a little tip over there. Who was that there? I'm trying to see. 187 made us a little bit of a tip over.
Dylan Bauer.
Yeah, Bauer there. Now he's got to start the bike. He's got it started. He looked like 671 over there. I'm not sure if that was 671. He stalled it too. Saw Dylan Bauer go down there and he kind of grabbed a little bit too much brake, but now you're going to see these guys, their lap time is going to be a little bit slower. There they go. They tripled that, seat hopped that section right there, but came up a little bit short. There's a few other little things that they have to do, and but they're good out there. They'll be good. Just kind of waiting around, see where they're, see what time Cook comes in. See, you got a 103 for Finch, so that's not a bad time for these guys. A 103. 105 there for Butler. Exeter Bueller. My eyes are getting bad, Andy.
Oh, you'll be just fine, Jim. We want to invite everybody to the Chevron party in the pits today down there. Got a big crowd here in Oakland. We already got some people falling into the stands, but I think everybody's out in the pits having a good time right now. We want to thank our sponsors. AMS Oil is the official oil of Loretta Lynn's, AMS Oil Arena Cross, Monster Energy Supercross. It's not only AMS Oil, the official oil. They've been tested in the most extreme conditions at the track and the trail to ensure they're formulated for superior dirt bike performance. Get out front performance, get AMS Oil. And if you want to win, MMI and AMS Oil have teamed up to win a chance for a replica of Kevin Windham's Honda CRF 450R Supercross bike. Go to www.winkevinsbike.com for your chance to win. MMI, the official technical institute of Monster Energy Supercross. And DC Shoes. DC's proud to be the official footwear sponsor of AMA Supercross. Defy convention with DC Shoes.
Well, at least they got a good track to go out there. A couple of little ruts right there. You'll see them. The Dirtworks guys. I always get that wrong. It's the Feld Track Crew.
Yeah.
Feld Track Crew.
Easy mistake.
They're going to get out there during this first intermission here, and they'll come back out, and it'll look like a whole brand new. Look like not a bike has been out on the track after they get done working it.
Yeah, I was having breakfast with them this morning. They told me we only got 30 minutes, man. He says we go out there and we go as hard as we can. He says sometimes, it beats you up pretty good, And he says a lot of guys after the races, they ask him, "Hey, you going to go out to dinner?" And they're like, "No, we're going to go sit in the hot tub."
Right. Or they're going to sit in one of the dozers and start tearing down the track, because some of these things, they gotta start tearing down the track. You never know if Monster Jam's going to follow us up here in Oakland. I'm not sure the schedule, but check out monsterjam.com and see, because that's an entertaining show. I know they're in Anaheim this weekend, the Monster Jam down there in Southern California.
Driving the Metal Militia truck, yeah. I can't imagine what that must be like and what they're doing nowadays, jumping those things 50, 60 feet.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you talk about Brian Deegan doing that, and also Damon Bradshaw. You know, these are former guys that, you know, Bradshaw's won races, Deegan's won races, and they make the transition into the Monster Jam trucks, and it's pretty cool, you know.
It's a heck of a show. You know, throughout the first 3 races here, Alex Nagy's been the heat in the 450C qualifying, and so far, where's he at? Third place,
Yeah, but he's got a little green arrow. He's moving up. That third, I'm sure, is going to, and you're going to see a lot of these guys, you know, there's about 4 minutes and 55 seconds left here. You're going to see him take a little bit of a, you know, they don't go hard the whole, you know, can't see that number on the back of his jersey, but it looks like he had a little crash.
542, yeah.
542 there. That's
Johnny Bowler.
Yeah, Bowler there. He's going to get back out onto the track here, but, you know, a lot of these guys, it's still hard because they don't have, you know, the proper tracks to train on during the week like this, and they come here and, you know, it's a little bit daunting for them. Like, hey, man, this is hard.
I tell you what, that's Chad Cook there out of Oklahoma, and on the 713 in second position. I used to race that guy back in the day, and it just dawned on me that he's out there right now and still making it happen. You know, it's cool to see Chad out there. Looks like he's getting around the track pretty good. Hopefully he makes the night show and has a good time tonight.
Well, and you look at it, you know, we first saw it was a 105 or something. Now they got it down to a minute flat for Finch. And Cook's at a 101.7. So, I mean, they're knocking times off.
Hey, Robert Fitch out of Denver, Colorado. There's another Colorado cat. Let's give some love to his sponsors. It's BMX, Art Suspension, Armstrong Steel Bindings, 6D Helmets, Alias Motocross Gear, Smith, Pirelli. Always got to thank those guys' sponsors. You know, those privateers need everything they can get. And it's just huge to all
Looks
these
like
companies
Pulley
helping
there.
Yeah.
608 out there. He's getting around the track pretty good, but he's sitting in 9th right now with a minute 5.7, 105.7. Ooh. Yeah, look, that was a little bit choppy going through that corner. He didn't quite have that flow going around there. So hopefully, you know, he's got that GoPro camera on. He'll see that line and say, okay, I need to move over to the left a little bit, carry my speed around that corner, and keep my momentum up.
Yeah.
But he's trying some things out there. That's the good thing. He's trying a couple different sections, and a lot of these guys see some of those other guys doing it, and they say, well, let me try it.
There's Bauer jumping up to the top there.
Yeah,
he was laying on the ground there in that corner, and now he's up to the top of the practice.
Well, he knew how fast to go, and now he knows he can.
Yeah, motocross fans, if you're looking for class-leading 450 power with 250 style handling, check out the incredibly quick and nimble YZ450F Yamaha. Check it out at YamahaMotorsports.com or your local Yamaha dealer. That's number 300. That is Curtis Vandersheed. He's from Iowa. 7th right now, 7th out of the 10 racers on the track.
Yeah, he's flowing pretty good right there. That's not a bad, there's that, yeah, not bad. It's just you can see they're riding just a little bit tight. You know, they're not loose. They're doing the sections, and when they're landing, it's like they're rigid. You know, they're just kind of a little rigid out there, and you know, they just need to loosen up a little bit. But you like to talk about Bauer. You know, he's a little bit more looser right now. He's got a minute flat there, and got a little sideways there. He's just not tripling into that section there, but you're going to come around this right-hander and up and over this triple right here.
Let's throw some love to Bauer's sponsors. He's got Triple Effect Graphics, A&J Oilfield Services, Mom and Dad, Fly Racing, FMF, and Oakley.
Yeah, some of these guys out there, they're just getting all situated out there and getting ready to go. And you know, they'll go back during this last practice session here, and they'll you know, they'll go back and they'll look at some of the footage of the camera and all that stuff, and they'll go back and make a few changes onto the bike and things like that. But they'll be good. You know, you come out of here and you know, it's a learning experience for a lot of these guys. You know, and the main thing is just to make sure you stay focused and stay healthy.
Yeah, healthy.
And you know, talk about healthy. Our next guest, you know, talk about staying healthy. I don't know. Bobby Reagan, welcome to the show, Race Day Live. And what happened to your foot?
Oh, it's just too many rodeos in my life. Had a little ankle reconstruction.
That's it? Just ankle reconstruction?
Yeah.
When's it going to be off?
Well, it's been like this for 10 weeks, so I thought.
10 weeks, that's what I said. I saw you earlier, but Bobby, I want to congratulate you on that championship last year with Jeremy Norton. I've known you a long time. I mean, we go way back. I remember when you first got into the sport here with Keith Johnson, Isaiah Johnson, and Bobby J's Yamaha in Albuquerque there with Stanley Johnson and all the guys. And you know, you were the top privateers back then. I remember Keith Johnson got I believe it was a Toyota truck at one of the Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And for you guys, you know, your relationship with Yamaha and all the guys and coming together, and you told me, I mean, you said, you know, I knew Alex Martin was a good rider, but you said, hey, we got his little brother in the amateur program. You started developing guys in the amateur program, and it's paid off for you with wins.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been great, a great run. We've got Jeremy Martin on the team. We've also got Cooper Webb, who's won the last two Supercross races. So we're really excited. We put our dues, we put our time in, and we've got a great team. The team is just it has really become a force. We've got the best trainer out there, if not the best, the second best trainer in the sport, and we've got a great motorcycle with the new 250F Yamaha. So we are excited.
Well, and you got a lot of great mechanics over there. I know Brad and Bob Oliver at Yamaha developing the motor, and I think the motor's fast and it's strong and it's reliable.
Absolutely, it's the best one out there. And we've done the development on it. As you know, we went to Japan. Yamaha took us to Japan, and we worked closely with Yamaha Japan.
And you won that race over there with Cooper Webb, the final round over there, the all-Japanese. You know, and it's funny because when I was riding over in Japan and stuff, they really want to beat the Americans over there, you know. And it's hard work because, I mean, they're used to those tracks and a lot different tracks in Japan than what Cooper Webb's used to racing on.
Absolutely. You know, we didn't do really good qualifying on the day before the race, so we had meetings all night and got everybody on board, and Cooper won both motos, so it was a great experience for us. The Japanese over there are really good riders, and we're just really fortunate to win.
You know, the #1 rider over there, Akira Narita, 10-time Japanese national champion. You know who worked with him when he was 14 years old?
Who's that?
Me. He's one of my guys.
Well, he's still a great rider.
No, he is, and he's old, and I mean, he is old, and I'm thinking of him, I'm going, man, is he going to win another one? But I want to ask you, how did you get started in this? I mean, way back when Keith Johnson and Bobby J's there, because I know at one time in Phoenix, you're good friends with Bobby Unser. As we're on the big screen now back there, so now everybody in the stadium's listening to us.
Good. Well, Bobby Unser, yeah, he's from Albuquerque.
Right.
So we became good friends, and he gave me a lot of pointers about trying to find money. You know, trying to find money, and what we do is probably the hardest part. To fund these teams, we spend an awful lot of money doing what we do, but Unser was affiliated with the Johnson brothers in Albuquerque, so it all worked out good.
See, Andy, I know the Unser. When I was talking to Bobby, I said, you know what, my son, he's a Lobo. He plays baseball for UNM down there, and he says, hey, there's a great Unser museum, and I got a chance to go down to the Unser museum, all the memorabilia and stuff, and a very nice museum in Albuquerque.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where they're from. They're a great racing family, and he gave me some advice, but you know,
well, tell us some of that advice. I mean, you got a lot of sponsors.
No, what he said was, you know, we've got all these agents in this sport that help us do things, but he said, every penny he ever got, he had to go do it for himself. So I think that's pretty true.
Well, Bobby, you've had a lot of success with your racers last year. Cooper won races, and obviously Martin won the championship, but you have an exciting new rookie right now with Aaron Plessinger. What's it been like adding him to the team, and how's he contributed to the dynamic?
Well, Aaron's a rookie.
Yeah.
You know, this is his 4th race.
Yeah.
He complements what we do. We've got 2 experienced riders on the team, and we're working with Aaron. I mean, as Jim probably knows, we work closely with them during the week, working on technique, cornering techniques, a lot of things we work with on these rookies to get them ready. And he's doing a great job, and we're going to put him on the podium tonight.
Yeah. Well, see, that's what I like. I was going to ask you, you know, with Aaron Plessinger, he had a great ride at the Monster Energy Cup, wins that, looks phenomenal, comes out his debut in Supercross, and he's a graduate of the Amsoil Arena Cross, you know, the Ricky Carmichael Road to Supercross. But when he made that transition to Supercross, he had a 5th, and I know last weekend he had some problems with that 13th. What do you tell a guy like Aaron Plessinger? I'm sure he's all mad at himself for that 13th, but how do you control him?
Well, that's a good question. You know, he's what we did with him today, we wanted him to get out in front in the practice sessions. We wanted him to be running out there by himself. We don't want him to follow Cooper Webb. Cooper Webb's got his own program that he does. And we want him to be himself. We want him to go out there and flow and relax and get comfortable and get his timing down. That's what we tell him.
All right, now I gotta go back to 2014. It's mid-February, and your guy Jeremy Martin, he's the guy you're gonna go with. The first 2 rounds he doesn't qualify. I mean, you guys had to have been pulling your hair out, and then he comes back at the end of the season, wins Las Vegas, gets the first in his 250 career, and then him and Cooper Webb just went on a tear in the outdoors.
Yeah, you just wait until this year. We've got our truck. We're going to divide it into Cooperland and Martinville.
Okay.
And there's going to be a war on our truck. When we get to outdoors, it's going to be a war. All the fans out there listening to me, you need to make sure you go and watch these races because it's going to be an absolute battle in motocross this year.
Well, was that why you guys picked, like, for Cooper on the west and Martin on the east? You don't want to put those 2 together because, I mean, they're not going to dinner together, correct?
No, they don't even practice together. They,
yeah.
No, you know, they're very competitive. Both guys are very competitive, very talented guys. And it's not that they don't like each other. They're trying to win. They're trying to beat each other, and they don't think a close relationship is healthy for them.
Speaking of Jeremy, you know, like Jim just touched on, he struggled last year in Supercross and missed those 2 main events. How's he looking so far? What's his preparation been like? You know, it's still a ways off, but it's coming up pretty quick, actually. Is he more ready this year?
Yeah, we had him ready for A1.
Yeah.
We actually had Jeremy at A1, and if Cooper had a problem, fell down, hurt himself, at the race, we had him ready there at A1 to jump in and run A1. Yeah, no, he's ready. And he's going to be really prepared for the East Coast.
Well, and that's the rule. If Cooper would have got hurt in practice, then you could have thrown as long as he didn't start a race, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I mean, that's good planning.
No, he was there. We had his bike. We had him, his gear. He was ready to jump in there.
You got another rider, A-Rod, we like to call him. How's he doing?
Yeah, he's doing great. He's actually training in Georgia with Colleen Millsaps. And he's doing good. He's had some problems with some injuries, but he's going to be ready, and he's going to be a podium guy.
He's a lot different than Aaron Plessinger as far as their riding styles. I mean, I got a chance to watch both of these guys, and A-Rod's got a lot of raw speed, and he goes out there and he hammers hard. But sometimes he needs to back it off a little bit because then I see him just horrendous crashes, and I'm going, oh, man.
Yeah.
It must try. Your heart all right?
Well, you know, Aaron Plessinger, his dad, Scott Plessinger's
sure.
multi-time GNCC champion from a great racing family. Aaron is a very, very gifted rider. He's going to be a great rider for us. He's going to develop, and he's a rookie this year. He's going to be we think he's going to be a real contender next year.
Let me ask you this: with you know, the 250 class you have, will there be at any time in the future, maybe not this year but next year, that possibly we could see maybe some of the guys on the other coast riding a 450? Has that talk been entered into the equation?
Yeah, it's possible. You know, Cooper's run the Monster Cup the last 2 years on a 450. He's acclimated to a 450, and he's only got 1 year left. Unless he gets hurt or something, he's only got 1 year left on 250. So, yeah, we're getting him ready, and yeah, quite possibly next year, when he's not. Next year he could be running on the opposite coast.
See, there we go, race day live. That's why you got to watch, Andy, because we break the news here.
That's right. Not this year.
Not this year.
No.
Well, Bobby, you've been around a long time, and you've experienced the highs and the lows. But what's your favorite part about coming to the races and owning a race team? What keeps it so fun for you?
Well, the favorite part for me is winning.
Yeah. Everybody.
But I love being with these young guys. These young athletes they're just unbelievable how they train. They're Olympic-style trainers, and I just love being with them. And it's a real treat for me to go out and develop them and the team and win championships.
It's interesting when Cooper won his first of his career in Phoenix there. I didn't see you down there, and then I saw you at Anaheim with your lovely wife, and I was going, Bobby, I know you should have been down here. I was looking for the photo, and then you pointed down at your leg with your broken foot, and I said, oh, no.
Man down.
Yeah. I couldn't believe I couldn't get down there. I was on crutches, and I tried to get there. I just couldn't make it.
Something interesting, Andy, when they were going for the championship in Indianapolis in the outdoors, I talked to Keith. He said, you know what? Man, Bobby must have forgot what time it was. He called me he said you were nervous at that race.
Oh, yeah, I was. You talking about at Indianapolis?
Yeah, Indianapolis, yeah.
With all that rain?
Yeah, exactly.
But, it turned out great for us. Both our guys are really good mud riders, and it was a great race for us. Great track. The conditions were terrible, but the crews made the track rideable, so we enjoyed it. We won our first championship there, so it'll always be a memory for us.
And the track here tonight, how are the guys liking the track? I think it's a great track here in Oakland.
Oh, we always love coming here. The fans here are so good, and the dirt's good. And this track out here today is going to be a real treat for the fans to watch on TV.
Party in the pits going off and back there. I mean, it's unfortunate me and Andy are up here. We're doing Race Day Live. We don't get a chance to go down there kind of towards the end, and I always miss it. But just the atmosphere in the pits.
Oh, it's absolutely full of people. I didn't think I was going to make it back around here, but all kind of things going on. Everybody's enjoying themselves, getting ready for tonight.
Well, you're an expert, and we ask everybody that comes on our show. It's the theme all year long. Who's next? In that 450 class, let's get away from your guys. Who do you think is going to be the guy to win this championship in the 450 class?
Who's going to win?
Yeah.
We've got a long ways to go.
Yeah.
And there are going to be a lot of things happen, different guys winning. 94 looks real good to me.
It's a good pick so far.
We're hoping that Barsha gets going on the Yamaha, and I think he will. I think he'll win some races. I think it's going to be a real dogfight when we get to the end, because there are going to be a lot of guys that have points. So I think it's going to be a fun series.
Yeah, you mentioned Barsha. You mentioned Barsha with that fourth last weekend. I got to go back 1 week earlier. I mean, Weston Pike getting a fourth and possibly a podium, but with the broken foot, now he's out. I mean, I just feel so bad for Coy Gibbs and all those guys out there, J-Bone. They put in such a lot of time. But Phil Nicoletti, I like that, what they do. I mean, Coach Gibbs, it's a lot like in NFL. You got a backup quarterback, you got a backup rider. And you had a backup rider at Anaheim 1 with Jeremy Martin. I mean, I like that concept.
Yeah, really unfortunate that Weston Pike got hurt. Y'all watched him ride. He had a third place locked up and injured himself right at the end of the race. So we were really excited about him, and I think you're right. We're going to probably all need some backup riders here before we get to the end of the season.
Well, I mean, that's the hardest thing about, you know, the 450 class. It's 17 rounds there, and you have a lot of injuries. I mean, we're already seeing a lot of that with Weston Pike and Michael Lessing out riding. Who else? Dean Wilson and probably Will Hahn. I mean, there's already 4 guys that are out right now. But, you know, on the other flip side of it, you look at the guys, the privateer guys, the Adam Intignaps and guys like that, they're saying, there's a spot for me now in that main event.
Well, you know, I'm sitting out here in practice. I came up here from practice, and I'm watching these guys in the lower groups, watching them trying to find me somebody that I can bring in if in an emergency that I need a rider.
Yeah, see, so he's looking at the BNC practices just like we're looking at it, and we're broadcasting live, and you know, we look at that too. I mean, we kind of look at guys, and you know, a lot of guys have changed manufacturers and things like that, but I mean, you're looking at these practices just like we are.
Absolutely, and I want that to be the message to the young guys out there watching this broadcast. I am in the stands watching the BNC practices, trying to
look
find.
At the camera and tell them, Bobby Reagan is here looking at you guys.
I am here. I am here. I'm watching you. So you need to do the best you can. It's you don't ever know. You don't ever know, and we're always looking for young talent. So do your best.
Well, Bobby, thanks for coming on the show, man. Congratulations on your success last year and this year so far. Good luck on that championship moving forward, and just good luck.
It's been a long time since Yamaha's won.
Well, I want to tell y'all what our goals are.
All right, tell us.
We are going to win the West Coast Supercross. We're going to win the East Coast Supercross, and we're going to win outdoor motocross. We've got 3 championships that we've got in front of us, and that's our goal. So we'll see how we do.
All right, you heard it from Bobby Reagan. All you fans out there, all you people all over the world watching Race Day Live, Bobby Reagan called it here on Race Day Live. 2 championships, one on the East, one on the West, and that outdoor motocross championship, 1 and 2?
Yeah, 1 and 2.
Okay. Well,
no, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Those are some good goals.
Yeah, really good. Yeah.
He's got the riders to get it done. Well, we're going to take a break right now, grab a Monster, and we'll be right back.
What's up? I'm David Millsaps with Monster Energy Kawasaki, and you're watching Race Day Live.
Andy Boyer with Race Day Live, presented by AMSOIL. We're here with XPR Motorsports and Jackson Richardson. You're straight off an 11th place finish last weekend, man. That's a good ride. How you feeling so far this season?
Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, last week was a solid ride. We got some good starts all night in the heat race and in the main, and yeah, to finish with an 11th was good. I mean, the first 2 rounds didn't go how we wanted it to, but no, it's been good, and we've had a solid week this week, and hopefully we can build on that 11th.
Well, you're up against the super teams, you know, and you're here from Australia. You got your van, and this is the soul of the sport, you know, and it's really cool to see somebody like you doing it on your own and making it happen. I mean, you're out there vying for top 10s and looking for more.
Yeah, I mean, we got a good group of people that we got helping me out, and XPR Motorsports, Chad Braun has just put in a tremendous amount of work over the years, and this year we've really hit it hard. We've got the bike dialed in a lot this year, and like as it showed last weekend, we got great starts, and like we've been working a lot with the suspension as well, and it's been paying off.
Well, you got a little bit different dirt here. It's a little more loamy. Is that more like of your liking, or how's that going to work for you tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I love the loamy stuff. I've never been here before, but I've seen a lot of footage and I've studied it a lot, and it is a lot softer than the usual West Coast tracks. So yeah, it'll be good. I'm keen for it.
So has your hard work been paying off? Is the phone starting to ring with these good starts and good finishes yet?
Not just yet. We got a lot more to do. I just want to work on being a lot more consistent with my results, not be so up and down. But we're working towards it, and hopefully that'll happen soon.
Well, Jackson Richardson's got his mom, he's got his girlfriend, and a Ford van, and he's making it happen. Keep your eye on this guy tonight in Oakland. Jim Hawley, Race Day Live here in Oakland, presented by AMSOIL. Well, Trey Canard sitting 5th in the points, 29 points out, not bad.
Yeah, no, it's, you know, definitely would like to be doing a little bit better, but, you know, with some rough things behind us the last couple of races, you know, hopefully we can move forward here in Oakland and come out with a good finish.
You like the track here in Oakland in the past?
Yeah, no, the dirt always seems to be really good, and, you know, the crowd is always excited, so it's exciting. You know, the stadium's a little bit bigger than San Francisco, but, yeah, it should be fun.
Something I noticed at round 1, Anaheim, they had a lot of sand in there, and you really excelled in the sand. They got a sand section here in Oakland.
Yeah, no, the sand's always fun. It's always creates change throughout the whole night. So you know, hopefully we can adapt and make the changes and improvements we need to make through the day, and you know, when that 20 laps comes, be ready.
Something else I was happy about, Cole Seeley, your teammate, gets a 6. I know those first 2 rounds he had a 14-14. I'm going, man, you picked Kevin Windham's number. That doesn't mean you stick on that 14, but he did have a heat race win in Phoenix.
Yeah, no, I think you know, we haven't seen the best of Cole Seeley yet. I think that you know, he's going to definitely be up at the top. I really feel like he's got the skill level and everything behind him he needs. So I think with all of us here on the team, you know, hopefully we continue to excel.
You happy with the bike? I mean, you good with all the settings and everything, or are you still in between Anaheim last week and this week Oakland? Did you make some changes?
Yeah, no, I'm very happy. It's the most happy I've been in a long time. So I really enjoy riding the bike, and you know, hopefully we can put it to good use.
You know what's going to make me happy? Supercrosslive.com pays $1,500 for the whole set. I want to see you get a whole set, and I want to see you up front, man. Your starts have been horrible this year.
Yeah, no, I definitely overthinking it, you know. So hopefully tonight, you know, just take it down to 3rd grade math and let the clutch out and try to be the first guy there. So, you know, I think that'll give us a great opportunity, and that's what we're shooting for tonight.
Well, like I said, always relax. Just take a nice hot bath and relax before the start, and you'll have fun.
All right, perfect.
Andy Boyer with Race Day Live, presented by AMSOIL. We're here with BTO Sports, KTM's Andrew Short. Andrew, you've had a really good start to your season, man. You're really going fast. You found some new speed, it seems like.
The starts have been critical for me. I've been starting up front, and I feel like I'm gelling really good with the new KTM. It's all new bike this year, and it's basically my 3rd year with the team with BTO Sports, so I feel really comfortable with the atmosphere, and all those little things make a big difference on race day, and I think that's what's attributed to my success early going, and hopefully keep building and see where it goes.
I mean, you've been at the front in all 3 races, and you're leading the thing last weekend and took a big header. How you feeling, man?
I'm pretty sore, you know, definitely don't recover as quick as I used to, but I think I'm having more fun now. It's I'm at the end of my career, and I don't want it to end, obviously. You know, this is a dream for me, and I'm just trying to enjoy each day. And last weekend was a bummer, but I'm really thankful it wasn't worse, and I'm able to come back out here at Oakland and see where it may go. So a lot to be thankful for, and enjoying it, and so far it's been pretty good.
Andrew Short took a big crash last weekend, but he's back for more and looking for a podium. And folks, if you want to win, MMI and AMSOIL have teamed up to give you a chance to win a replica of Kevin Windham's Honda CRF 450R Supercross bike. Go to www.winkevinsbike.com for your chance to win.
Yeah, and you mentioned that bike there. You know, you think number 14, you think maybe that's one of Cole Seeley's bikes, but it is Kevin Windham's bike, number 14
it's
out
the
there.
full deal, yeah. Let's talk about those guys that we're just interviewing there with Andrew Short and Trey. You know, in particular, Short's had a couple good rides. He's had 3 really good starts. You know, he's kind of been a surprise to me.
You know, not to me, though. I think as we see on camera, the Parts Unlimited track walk down there, a lot of the people get a chance to go down there and walk the track. You see Tim Finn there from Feld with the big bullhorn kind of. This is a neat treat for the people that get a chance to go down there and walk the track. But getting back to Andrew Short, I really don't think it was, because, you know, as the older you get in your career, you kind of know how critical it is to start up front. And Andrew knows that, and he's probably worked in the off season on his starts. And, you know, he got away with a good one last week. I mean, he could have been sitting here watching this race, but he's here. He's a little bit sore. He's got a deep thigh bruise. But Andrew Short, like you heard him talk about, you know, he's been with the BTO Sports KTM ride over there for about 3 years now, and that's an all-new bike. We talked to Ian Harrison and all the guys at KTM about that new bike, and he's got that bike. And Andrew's a great development rider. I mean, he's giving a lot of key information back to the KTM engineers over there and things like that. But with Andrew, I'd like to see him get a podium. I mean, he won a heat race back a couple races ago. He beat Kenny Roczen and stuff, and Andrew Short's the real deal on that KTM, and I hope tonight he can bounce back. But you got to remember that he's nursing that leg. And, you know, I think Andrew just wants to try to get through this weekend and have an okay ride, and then next weekend in Anaheim, because that's where he kind of wants to redeem himself. You know, he goes there and he says, you know what, Anaheim, I crashed, and I was right up front. He goes, the Anaheim owes me one. So we'll see next week.
You know, you talk about him being a development rider for KTM, and he is the only guy out there that's on air shocks front and rear. He has that air shock in the back, and he says it works good, and who knows, maybe they're going to implement that on the other bikes coming up soon.
Well, you know, you go look at that, and you go back a few years when you had that problem at Anaheim with Ryan Dungey with that air shock that he ran, and I think that, you know, Roger DeCoster's been around the sport a long time. He's won a lot of championships himself, as well as a lot of championships as a team manager, and I think that shock needed a little bit more development time, not in practice, but in race conditions. And if Andrew likes it and Andrew wants to put the time on it, then let's let Andrew try it, and then, you know, that shock may come into play in 2016 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't think Roger can take that time, you know, because that could have been, if that was the main event. I mean, luckily it was in a race where, you know, Dungey was able to come back through the last chance race and get into the main event. But if that would have been in the main event, that would have been a big zero as far as points. So, I mean, I think that Andrew knows a lot about the bikes and knows how to set them up. And, yeah, it's good. Now, I like the other thing, what they're doing now with Ryan Morris. They brought Ryan Morris after he retired. Ryan Morris is doing a lot of development and working with a lot of the guys. And I just see that program. I can't wait to see Marvin Muskin on that East Coast. I mean, you know, we haven't talked about Marvin in a while, and hopefully he's healthy and ready to go.
Well, and talking about development and talking about mechanics, we were able to sit down with the MMI Top Tech last week. Andy Boyer with Race Day Live, presented by AMSOIL. We're here with Derek Dwyer, and he's Malcolm Stewart's Factory Geico Honda mechanic. You've been pretty busy this season so far to get this MMI Top Tech Mechanic Award. Tell us about it.
Yeah, you know, Malcolm was picked up late in the season, so we, right from the get-go, it was go, 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 and get him most comfortable on the bike. And, you know, coming in Anaheim 1, we had a lot of expectations for Malcolm, and I think he felt the pressure a little bit, and, you know, he pushed a little too hard when he shouldn't have, and he went down, and then so we had to go to the LCQ, and then after that he made it in, and then went to the main event, and he actually crashed really hard and didn't get to ride much that week. So going into Phoenix, it was kind of I just go out there and get your feet planted and make progress after that. And, you know, again, here comes the heat race, and he went down again, and he got up, and, you know, he had a bent rotor, so he went down again after that, and his whole bike was tweaked up, and made it up to 10th in the heat race, and we had to go back to the LCQ. But you know, I went back, I fixed the bike both weekends and got him out on the track, and for the main event, or sorry, LCQ, he actually went out there and won in a good fashion and found his composure. So went out last weekend in the main event and got second. So it's just, you know, it's good to have him planted, and we're right there.
And now, Derek, you're an MMI graduate. Tell us how that's helped you reach this level as a factory mechanic.
Well, you know, MMI is a great platform to start at, and you know, going in, I didn't have the expectations to be a full factory mechanic, and but I had the drive. So, you know, they give you a good foundation, and then it's all on your heart and your effort you put in. So that's how it worked out for me.
Straight from the classroom to the Supercross track, Derek Dwyer, MMI Top Tech Mechanic Award for Phoenix. And hello, folks, and joining us here we have Jake Canada on the new 5150 Energy Drink Yamaha. Welcome to the set, man.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
Good. You look good out there in practice. Put down some fast times.
Yeah, I feel good. Feel good. The 5150 Energy Drink Yamaha, you know, is hooking up great out there. Only got a couple days on it, but already feeling really comfortable. So.
How did all that come into play? I mean, I know that you were riding a 450 at the first couple rounds. How did you get the call, and how did all that develop?
Well, the first 2 rounds I was just going to do myself, just 450, and I really wasn't where I wanted to be lap-wise, and wasn't ready to go do 20 laps with those big dogs. So I kind of just practiced and kind of saw where I was at. I was doing my own deal, so I just decided not to race, go put my head down for a couple weeks, and you know, put in 10 to 15 solid days of motos, and we're here today. Feel a lot better. Got 5 less laps, lights class, so I'm happy.
Well, you guys got a lot of good stuff going on over there. Your teammate had a good finish last weekend, and now you have Craig Monty coming over and helping you guys out. You know, what's the vibe like over there in your pits? Does it feel good? Is this one of the better teams you've been on so far?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's one of the best teams I've been on so far. I've been on Moto Concepts and, you know, kind of just climbing the wall and trying to live the privateer life and, you know, make it to the top. But, you know, they have great backing. It's a good team. The bikes are really good. Craig Monty's awesome, and the suspension guy, everybody involved. You know, it's a really easy transition just because I rode for him last year. So I just kind of slid right in, did what I normally did, and, you know, I'm happy with it. It's working out good.
Talk about that privateer life. I mean, I've been on both sides of it. I was a privateer. I was a factory rider when I rode. But, I mean, a lot of people that are, you know, listening in all over the world, they really don't understand how hard it is for a privateer. We got a chance to see a piece on Jackson Richardson and, you know, how hard it is for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know until I took it on this year. And it actually taught me to be a little bit better of a businessman in a sense. And and agent and everything, you know, salesman, calling all my sponsors and trying to get from gear to wheels, you know, everything. And there's 15 to 20 different people you got to talk to. So it's definitely a lot tougher than just flying in and your bike's here and ready to go and everything like that. But I'm back there, so it's nice.
Now, do you guys get to practice in Corona at the Yamaha test track? I mean, I think that's a huge thing to be able to have a replica track of Supercross. I mean, you can go to Elsinore or Milestone and places like that, and you ride there and it's great training and whatnot. But when you get here, it's not the same.
No, it's not. It's definitely a lot more higher scale every time you get to the race. And I really haven't even ridden any tracks like the race tracks, and I think that's good because come race day, it's just every man for himself. They got to figure it out, and they do it on their own. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I get to ride the Yamaha track now. So normally it's just Milestone and Elsinore. So we got another track. It's got some tacky dirt and do some good starts and stuff like that. So it's good.
Well, speaking of tacky dirt, you know, tell the folks that are tuning in right now, how is the track today? It looks good, and some of the other riders coming off the track said it's got different lines and some passing opportunities. What's it like out there, Jake?
It's pretty gnarly on a 250. It's fun. Once you do everything, it's fun. But definitely those triples and the finish line, and they're wide open on a 250. You come out the corner, pivot, set, and wide open.
Pull the trigger and hang on.
Wide open.
Like going 3-3-3 here after the moguls is pretty gnarly.
Yeah. Seems like they're tuning it in pretty good now, so I'm expecting lap times to be a lot lower next time out.
Well, you mentioned the lap times like that as a rider when you go out for that first time practice, and you know that everyone's, you know, goes out there for the first free practice and they got a time practice. And then the Feld track crew gets out there and they kind of rework the track. A little bit of moisture comes up. And then that final one, is that when you really hang it out?
Well, yeah, it's just a building block. I just take each practice as a practice, and the first one was free. I was in B this weekend, so it's obviously a lot more calm. Everybody in the A practice wants to go, you know, kill it. So I'm just taking my time. First two practices, I felt like I busted out the big rhythms I needed to do, and this third one, the track should be nice and prepped, so I feel like we should be able to step it up big time.
Do you prefer a coast? You know, you've been racing for a while. I think you've raced on both coasts. Do you like East Coast or West Coast better?
I think I did my best when I rode East Coast, so I think I like East Coast better. I've only raced it 1 year. I've raced West like 3 years now, so I live in California, so you would think I would be good at, you know, throttle control, which I am, but I like ruts and I like
dirt.
Technical stuff, and East Coast has a lot more of that.
Well, let me ask you this. As a rider, I mean, back when I rode, we didn't have time qualifying. I mean, it's just you had practice and you had qualifiers. If you're in the top, you know, then you don't have to qualify, blah, blah, blah. But I see a lot of guys, and especially in that C and B practice, a lot of, you know, white flags with the red cross, a lot of yellow flags.
And triples.
Yeah, and the triples, they're come up and they body a few guys. But, I mean, as a rider, when you're out there and you're on a fast lap and a heater and you're going for it and you see that, what goes through your mind, and also what goes through your mind when you see the red flag and you got to come off and there's still 4 or 5 more minutes left in the practice session?
Well, you say a few choice words in your head and try to brush it off and put your head down and go out for the next one. So there's definitely, the track is gnarly. There's been a lot of red cross flags, but I feel like now it's tackied up. They're going to put the dozers on it. It should be really good now.
You like the sand? I kind of always like the sand in a Supercross.
I do because I'm lanky, so I think it's good for me. But actually, this sand section they have is really good. I think it's going to be cool for racing because you can either bonsai that outside, you can come in hot and bonsai that outside and rail that berm, while everybody else is kind of monkeying around on the inside. So you're going to see some passing there tonight, some good passing.
Oh, you heard it from Jake Canada, huh? He says there's going to be passing in the sand section.
Well, there's been a lot of passing going on in your class so far. I know you've been watching. You know, you started in the 450 class, but it's been gnarly in the 250 West.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of clean jobs, a lot of block passes. And are you ready? You ready to get in there and mix it up with these guys and rub some elbows?
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready. I think I'm right where every one of those guys is, you know, talent-wise and ability-wise. So I'm ready to go put my elbows up and see where I end up at the end of the night.
What do you do in the off season? I mean, once the outdoors are done, I know I gave you a call and you say, hey man, I'm in Hawaii. You know, I mean, a lot of the guys like to go to Hawaii. I mean, what do you like to do when you're over there?
Right off the bat, I would say, you know, as the year's ending, everything's winding down. You know, plan a nice trip to just get away and clear your mind and be around people you love and care about and just get your mind off racing. It's a gnarly sport, you know. A lot of stress and a lot of people involved, and it's good to go away and just breathe it out a little bit and then get back to training.
I mean, do you surf or anything when you go over there?
I don't surf.
What do you like to do besides ride a motorcycle? I know that's your living, to race a motorcycle. You're a professional rider, but what do you do to I know you like to go over and relax, but you leave the motorcycles and what do you pick up? Do you scuba dive? Do you yoga? What do you do?
No, I mean, not really, dude. It's just all day. You don't stop thinking about motocross. I can't sleep at night because I'm thinking about motocross. It's an all-day thing. Ride and then go to my trainers, talk to my trainer. And basically any time that I have to kind of calm down and chill, I just like sitting on the couch, watching TV, getting to bed, you know. And the girl don't really like that too much, but, you know, I think it works. It's good.
Favorite TV show?
That's a tough one.
Well, what do you watch?
I mean,
Motocross
I watch
videos.
a lot of TV. I watch the races about 7 times a week, over and over and over. That's for sure. I know that. I don't know. I'm more of a cartoon guy, like Family Guy at night and George Lopez and stuff like that, old school stuff.
Okay, all right. Well, some of the guys helping you out, obviously, 50, 150. Who else helping you out? I know you just you know, came on board this week with the team. I know Terry Beals helping you out over there and stuff as far as getting you. He's going, hey man, we got to get these guys out here. I said, no problem. We'll love to have them on Race Day Live.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I'm glad to be on here. It's always cool. First time, so it's fun. But yeah, I got to give it up for everybody. This weekend is just nothing's really signed, nothing's really done. It's just they gave me a bike, and I'm gonna go see what I can do on it. That's why everything is kind of different with me and Austin's gear and all the stuff like that. So I think after this weekend, see how we do, regroup, and you know, go from there and with all the little things. But as far as tonight, I gotta go race, so that's all we're really worried about right now.
Well, I mean, Jake Canada, number 60, 250 class. What are you gonna expect? What am I gonna see from Jake Canada tonight?
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to
you
say
gotta
anything.
set some goals.
No, I have. No, I mean, I know where I can be.
Okay, where
Those
can you
guys
be?
I mean,
I know where you've been.
I mean, I want to win.
Yeah, talk to the camera right there. Tell the fans out there.
Top 5?
Because I have.
Hey, they took my fast time away.
Did you stop on the track?
No, I didn't.
Well,
go
you better go to talk to the
sound
AMA.
after. I didn't go to sound right away.
See, there you go.
man.
There's rules you
They
got to
took my
follow.
fast time away, but we got another practice. So
That's
I'll make
right.
it
You
up.
got another one
I'll make it
coming up, and we
Yeah.
want to thank you for coming on the show,
Hey,
Jake.
thank you.
We know you got to
Appreciate it
get
so
going.
much.
You
Thank
look
you.
great out there.
I'm looking for a top
Yeah.
10 from you.
Hey,
Top 10.
That's doable. That's definitely doable.
All right.
I'm hoping to be there at the end of the night, but I'm trying to be humble. We'll see what happens.
All right.
Well, Jake, thanks for coming on. We had another Yamaha rider we talked to earlier, Phil Nicoletti. He's back on the starting line.
Jim Hawley, Race Day Live here, presented by AMSOIL. Well, it's Oakland, and it's 2015, and this guy's making his debut in 2015. Phil Nicoletti, a backup rider for the Yamaha Joe Gibbs team there. You get the call. Tell me about that call, because Weston Pike's going to be out for about 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate event for the team and for Weston, but again, that's the whole initiative and plan of having me for second string, I guess you could say. So I went to Anaheim last weekend just to kind of see if you know, if he was going to be able to ride and whatnot, but I had to go out there anyway for some different obligations. So he gave it a go, and then something worse happened. Screw pulled out or whatever the case may have been. So he had to get re-surgery, and then that put me in for the next 4 to 6 weeks. So I actually knew last Saturday at A2 I was going to be in for Oakland, but I'm ready to go, ready to rock, and should be a good time.
Besides racing for the team and filling in when a rider gets injured, what are your duties back in North Carolina? I mean, you're doing a lot of testing, working with Johnny O and all the guys, and just kind of trying to get things situated and, help out the, Justin Barsha and Weston Pike. Maybe, if you got 10 settings, you can kind of weed out, so when they get on the bike, hey, there's only like 3 or 4 settings they got to test.
Yeah, it's hard because every rider is so much different, but for me, it's just, I'm more of like durability, because I like to ride a lot during the weekend, especially since I'm not racing on the weekend, so I'm able to put in quite a bit more bike time than the guys that are actually going racing on Saturday, where they kind of have to taper off during the week, but I could put in a hard Monday and Tuesday and a Thursday and Friday, and then kind of take Saturday and Sunday off. So basically just durability testing. Our motors are really strong, they're legit, and durable, so I guess for me that's a good thing, because I do put a lot of time on them, so they can tell like what parts are wearing out and what. So and as far as suspension and stuff, like it's hard, everyone's different weights, different riding styles, so it's hard to tell. You kind of let them do their own deal, but yeah, mostly durability testing for me. If it's a new part, I try and break it or find a way to break it or something. So it's pretty unique. But yeah, I've been on Supercross now for 2.5 months, and we're ready to go. I'm way ahead of where I was last year for when I jumped in at round 6 at San Diego. So I'm feeling a lot more confident now.
Did you learn anything? And that was going to be my next question. San Diego last year, I remember one time you hole shot, and then a couple corners later I see you flying over there. I'm going, oh no, Phil's first ride, it's not looking too good.
Yeah, it was definitely nerve-wracking because in 2013, I had missed the first half of Supercross, missed the main events, and then I made the last 8 or something. So I was still kind of green to 450 Supercross, and then last year, missing the first couple. And then you get to round 6, and you have the guys that are already, they found the flow, they know how the program works, they know when to eat, sleep, take their naps, whatever. This round here, it's just like they're still trying to figure it out, still trying to get bikes set up. So for me, I think I'm in a much better position than I was last year. I got a way better bike setup, motors are much better. And like I said, last year at San Diego, there's a lot of good points and a lot of bad points, and good points were the starts. So we almost went 3 for 3 for starts there, and our bikes are capable to get good starts, so hopefully I can bring back that this weekend here in Oakland.
Something else that JGR does, besides the professional racing team, they got into the retail market, and they're selling motors, and how's that going for the side of things? Because you're part of that. I mean, you're developing the motors, like you said, durability, and hey, you want a motor and you pay a lot of money to have the thing out there, you want it to last.
Yeah, no, and like you said, it's retail, so it's every manufacturer they deal with. It's not specifically just for Yamaha. I mean, obviously Yamaha, they might have more dial than others, but for retail side, it's a lot harder to get specific settings, I would say, for each bike and make each bike really, really good. So whereas a factory team, they're just developing one bike all the time. So JGR does a unique deal with the retail side, and they go to every amateur event, motors and suspension, and they've been doing an awesome job over there. So from 60s all the way up to 450s. And they're always busy there at the shop, shipping motors out, getting motors and suspension in. So it's pretty crazy to see that type of program be put into place there.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the last time I saw you race was Stockholm, Sweden. That was mid-October. I mean, that's a long time to be off of a motorcycle. Although you are testing and training and everything, how do you prepare yourself when you get that call, like you said, last weekend in Anaheim, you're going to fill in Oakland? I mean, do you change anything different during the week this week?
Yeah, I mean, we do a lot more starts this week, but no, program's pretty much the same. Taper off a little bit, maybe not do so many laps, but I mean, you're a racer yourself. I mean, you've done so many gate drops through your whole life. It's just like, it's just another gate drop. The car goes sideways, you go, and it's just natural instinct at this point. So I'm not too worried about any of that. Like, I've always been, like I said, a naturally good starter, and I believe our bikes are way beyond capable of being to the first corner first. So I'm not saying there won't be, some butterflies in the stomach, but there definitely will be. And you know, just got to be able to relax and take a couple deep breaths and just enjoy it.
You got a hell of a mechanic behind you working on your bike there. Number 46 you're running now, Valentino Rossi's number. But Patrick, tell me a little bit of what he brings to the table, because Patrick's been here. He started out the season already, and here it is, round 4, and you're working with Patrick now.
Yeah, no, it's awesome to have Patty, you know, in my corner. I actually worked with Patty last year a few times when his rider last year had gotten hurt. So, and even Ben Schiermeyer, Barsha's mechanic, like, I've known the guys now for a year, so it's pretty nice to have a relationship with them and then continue it on to the following year, which it makes a rider feel a lot better because you're just more comfortable. And Patty's been around the blue bike for, you know, 6, 7 years now, so it's not like he doesn't know. He's had plenty of gate drops himself, so you know, it's cool. So hopefully he can you know, keep me mellow on the starting gate, and hopefully everything else goes smooth on my part.
What's the goal tomorrow night, Saturday night, when that gate drops in the main event? I mean, obviously, I know your skills. You're going to get that thing into the main event. You want to be in that top 10 right off, top 15. What are you going to be happy with, Phil Nicoletti?
Honestly, I'd like to be, you know, 8 through 12. That'd be really good for Supercross for me. You know, and that's the plan. So. I got a bigger goal, and obviously that goal comes at Hangtown for the first round, or maybe even Glen Helen, I don't know, but I got to make sure I'm ready for that. But you know, tomorrow I'd like to be 8 through 12, and try and get the blue bike up front on the starts and show that they belong up there.
You know, on the starts, supercrosslive.com, we pay $1,500 for that hole shot in the main event. Jimmy Albertson last weekend in Anaheim, he got his first of his career, collected $1,500. That's a nice bonus for guys like you.
No, that'd be good for Saturday night. Go out afterward, you know, some beer money or something. No, but I'm excited. So it's good to be back and see all the faces I grew up with, and see everybody here again and get the show on the road, huh?
All right, well, you heard it from Phil Nicoletti. The season started January 3rd at Anaheim. Well, the season starts here in Oakland for Phil Nicoletti, January 24th.
And welcome back to the show. We have a very special guest, NorCal legend, Steve Lamson. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be up here and enjoying this time.
He was enjoying it when he saw me with the Der Wiener Schnitzel hot dog suit on. What do you think of that,
Got
man?
me kind of hot and excited.
Steve, you're a NorCal legend. You grew up racing around here. You know, tell us a story real quick back in the day. You know, racing at Hollister and Carnegie and all those places.
Yeah, I grew up doing all those races. Marysville,
yeah,
even Hangtown track, Prairie City at the time, and
Carson City, Nevada.
Carson
you
City,
and your
yeah.
brothers
Yep.
came over. I remember Robert Hansen and I. We had a track over there, and they'd come over and race. And your brother was fast.
Oh yeah. But it was just growing up here, and you know, made it to the pros and went from there.
And you're known for a lot of things. You're a 2-time national champion, you know, 3rd on the all-time win list, I believe. You're probably the fastest guy that's never won a main event, but you know, it's a great career. You're Motocross to Nations champion. You got to be happy with the way your career went.
Oh yeah, I always people ask me, would you ever change anything back? You know, I go, I wouldn't change anything. You know, don't regret anything that I did or didn't do.
How much fun was it being McGrath's teammate back in the day?
It was actually really good. I mean, because I could learn from him, and he probably could learn from me on the outdoors a little bit. So
yeah,
he's a special Supercross, and I was better at outdoors.
Well, that helps you in your new position now at the Yamaha Star Racing, Rockstar. You know, with those guys that, you know, you're mentoring Cooper Webb and you're helping a lot of the guys. You've been there, done that, and you know, like you said, you were a teammate to the Jeremy McGrath, the king of Supercross.
Yeah, it's great just to take just all my experience and working like you say, Cooper Webb, Aaron Plessinger on the West Coast, and obviously Jeremy Barton and Anthony Rodriguez, a bunch of young guys, and I try to pass all the knowledge that I know to them.
We had you know, the team owner Bobby Reagan on earlier today, and you know, one of the questions I asked him with Anthony Rodriguez, we call him A-Rod. You know, with that, I know Paul Lindsay, he's probably listening to us, and he likes A-Rod. How do you control a guy like that? Because he's got a lot of raw speed, but then sometimes he has those horrendous get-offs.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a learning curve. I mean, he's got to mature. He's, like you said, raw speed. Like last year in East Coast, he was running top 3 in the mains, and then obviously throwing it away and getting concussions, and happened throughout the year like that. So just got to calm him down and say, hey, let's get 10th instead of trying to get 3rd, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's what you talk about. I mean, it's you know, these guys are just chomping at the bit to go out there and they want to do good for the team and get a podium. But you know what? It starts with the ladder, and you got to take one step at a time. I mean, you know, a 10th's not bad. I mean, guys look at this and they think a 10th. Hey, I am one of the 10th fastest in the 250 class. I mean, that's great. Now the next week, let's try to get an 8th. Let's try to get 6th. Let's build on it, because these guys come out and they're just firing on all cylinders, and they want to win right away.
Let's talk about
you
these
got to put
kids,
experience
you know?
in.
I mean, your laps on your CR125 are some of the fastest things I've ever seen, you know, and you raced against the best, Ricky Carmichael and everybody, you know, your other NorCal guy, Talon Voland, you know, and Jeremy Martin is the new 250 champion. How much faster are these kids going today than back in your day, or are they really?
It's hard to say. They all say they're going way faster now, but look at the equipment. You know, so it's hard to really say. I think everybody's pushing the limit maybe a little bit more than they did back in the day, but then again, it's a different era.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about a 2-stroke versus a 4-stroke. I mean, you know, in my day, we didn't have water cooling. That just came in, disc brakes, things like that. I mean, the evolution of, you know, but if you had one of those kids ride one of Steve Lamson's CR125 2-strokes, they would go, are you kidding me? I can't even ride this thing, because they didn't grow up on that bike, you know, where you grew up. Your dad built a lot of your motors and stuff when you were an amateur coming up and stuff.
Yeah, you did quite a bit then, and it's like a lot of these kids now, I don't even think they ever rode 2-strokes. They just jumped off mini bikes up straight to the 250Fs.
Well, and I know your era was a lot like my era. We know how to work on a bike. You know, we can do a lot of these kids now. Yeah, I see a little bit of one of the guys going down right here. I can't see him, but hopefully he's okay. The Asterix mobile medical guys are on that, and Andy's going to look and check on the screen.
Keeling.
Colton Keeley, hopefully he's okay. But you know, a lot of these new kids coming up, I mean, I don't know if they changed an air filter.
You're probably about right. I do got to say, because I think we've got a few of those on our team right now.
Well, you know, the biggest thing, I mean, we talked with Bobby Reagan about was, you know, last year, I mean, you know, it started out horrible for Jeremy Martin. And then he kind of, you saw him start to move on, and then that ball just snowballed. And, I mean, did you guys have fun when you went over to Japan with Cooper Webb? I mean, it was a great experience.
It was great. And I know you deal a lot with Japanese riders and stuff, and I raced over there a lot too, and it was pretty exciting to go back.
Tracks are way different over there.
Oh, yeah.
Just fast, not rough. I mean, if you've ever got a chance to go over there, as we got a red flag behind us here, hopefully the gentleman is okay. And that's what we talked about, Steve. Like, you know, in our day, we didn't have the timing and scoring, you know, and to get into the 40 fastest, I mean, it was a qualifying race, and it's very hard as a rider as you look at the timing and scoring that we have here, and we see Berger with a 59.2 right now, but they still have over 3 minutes to go in this practice and to pull off and to get ready. What do you talk to about as far as when that happens, when you go down in and you guys all have headsets on and things like that, you go down, what do you tell a guy like Cooper Webb when you have something like that, a red flag?
Basically, I'm in the tower all the time, and I'm communicating with the mechanics. And, you know, when that red flag did come out, I said, we got 3 more minutes. You'll probably get 3 to 4 more laps, you know, out there, and do the best you can.
That's key, though, when you're talking about that tower. You're up there, and you're on a headset to the mechanics. If you see something or you see something not working on the bike, will you radio into the mechanic and tell, hey, pull them in, maybe make an adjustment on the compression or the rebound or something on the suspension?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I mean, we don't seem to run into that problem too many times, or if they do pull in, which they – short practices they never do unless there's a real big problem, or I can look on our track map and say, oh, section 3, you know, you need a double triple instead of double single, you know. So it's pretty helpful communication.
Yeah, see, we didn't have that when we rode. Like,
oh, no.
We come in, our buddies would come out and say, hey, man, did you see that guy? No, I didn't see it. Did you get it on film? No, we didn't get it on film. Now everybody's got GoPros. I know Pete Wankett, he's the truck driver over there. He's up in the booth, and, you know, he's video filming all the riders, not only your riders, but some of the other riders that you're racing against to see what they're doing different on the motorcycle.
Oh, yeah, because like just at that last practice, we had our Peter get on the Justin Hill because he had his fastest time. Follow him around for a couple laps so our guys we can go back to the truck and evaluate it and see what he's doing different.
See, Race Day Live. We a lot of people watching really don't know that a lot of the guys do that. The truck drivers, that is their main job, is to go up there and video film each and every time that motorcycle's on the track.
Oh, for sure, and it helps out a lot because we'll go after every session, go back in the truck and sit down and watch it, all of us.
Let me ask you this. I mean, it's been a long time since I used to run the team for Yamaha Japan and all the Japanese riders racing Supercross. And when you go back on Sunday, I know it's a day off, but on Monday, will you go back and review the race footage, you know, the 15 laps and talk to some of the riders and say, look, I think if you did this different, or maybe, you know, you did that move and it was lap 5, you still got 10 more to go and you crashed. Do you guys break down the film like that?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Like Monday, before we even go ride, everybody shows up at the shop. We don't do it every weekend, but when we know it's needed,
right.
we capture that for
Yeah.
sure. And I'll go out to the track practice days and film, and then we'll go straight back to the shop and watch it.
You know, that's a topic I kind of wanted to talk about. You know, back in your era, things were, you know, rough riding. You know, watching this year, do you kind of raise your eyebrows at these kids with some of the dive bombs they're doing? Do you think it's kind of changed a little bit? Has it gotten a little more gnarly, you think?
Well, I mean, back from when Jimmy was racing and myself were racing, it got pretty dirty quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it was gnarlier back then because we didn't have all the camera and the social media to, you know, to stir it up. Yeah, I mean, you know, some of the times when me and Steve rode, it wasn't on the track, it was in the pits where no one could see what was happening after.
That's right.
But the racing's been really good. It's really aggressive. You know, there's 10 points or 11 points separating the top 5. You know, Cooper's kind of broke away, and it's been really great racing. What are your guys doing? What are you telling Coop to kind of give him an advantage right now?
I mean, to be honest with you, he's so smart. Like, when you come off the track, I mean, we go over a few things, or maybe a little bit of bike change or tire change, and I kind of just step back a little bit, say a couple things to him, don't overwhelm him, and that's it.
Yeah.
You talk about a tire change. What would you change on a rear tire, front tire?
Yeah, mainly like rear tire, you know, going from one size to another or whatnot. So.
But like you guys run, like sometimes on those 2DS, you'll run a 120 in the rear. I mean, if it'll pull it. But certain tracks you'll have to go back down to a 110 just depending on the conditions, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just depends on the condition and how much load's on the bike and how ruts, big part.
You know, your nickname Superco, who gave you that? Where'd that come from?
Oh, gosh. The Fox brothers, when I was racing for Fox. I don't know how,
they gave me my nickname too, man, and I don't know how I got it either.
Yeah, it just came up one day, and that's all. Stuck with it, I guess.
Those had to be good times, you know, back then, doing Fly, that video, and you and McGrath jumping those huge dunes, and, you know, that had to be a good time in your career.
It's so much different now. It was so much more laid back then, not as corporate, but we still got the job done. And I remember going with those guys all the time. They'd stay at my house. We'd go film, meet with McGrath, and like the Fly video or Terra Firma stuff, and a lot of fun.
Cool. Well, Steve, man, it's been great having you on. We know you're super busy. You got to get back down there to your boys, but it's a pleasure to hang out. Thanks for coming on the show.
Oh, thank you guys very much.
Steve.
I appreciate
Take
it.
it easy, man. Good luck tonight, too.
You
got a chance tonight. Jason Lawrence back in 2008 strung together 3 in a row. You got a chance to do that.
I sure hope so.
Yep, good.
Coop's looking good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, these guys are looking good on the track right here. It's a minute 52 to go, and you still got Berger in the lead there. And he actually dropped it down a little bit, a 59.2 for him there. That's not bad.
Yeah, and going through your top 5, we got Berger, Noble, Klackow, it's the German, Burns, and Tigert. Looks like the lap times are definitely getting better after, you know, they've worked on the track, Jim.
There's my buddy Colton Eck there, just kind of sitting down there in the 11th spot. He dropped the position. He was in 10th. Colton Eck, remember last weekend I talked to him after. I go, hey, man, that crash, your thumb all right? He said, yeah, he just made a mistake. He jumped that thing in first gear. He goes, I came out of the corner, I downshifted too much, and I go, he knew exactly when he took off that he was in the in the wrong gear.
That's no good. Nothing's good in first gear. And we got about a minute to go here in this 250C qualifying number 2. These guys, their last chance to try to get in that fast 40 and get into the night show. Got a fresh track. It looks good. A little bit of a shadow problem going on right now as the sun's starting to set.
We got a lot of people, like we always talk about, Andy, a lot of people listening in to us and stuff. I know Drew Olivier, he's in Nashville. He can't wait to get to Atlanta to watch both back-to-backs. Braden O'Neill, Jim O'Neill's grandson, he just texted me a photo when I had the hot dog outfit on. I know he probably got a kick out of that.
Yeah.
Him and his little brother, Preston.
I got to say, I wasn't too bummed to see you take the wheel there and wear that.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm okay with it. You know, I got to have fun.
Hot dog. That sure is an exciting sponsor for those guys. You know, it's cool. Anytime you see new sponsors come into the sport, I think it's awesome. Auto Trader, Wiener Schnitzel, you know, the JGR guys and their marketing group work really hard to bring in more money and more sponsors.
Yeah, no, I think it's a bonus to our sport whenever we can bring an outside sponsor into Supercross. And something else that was, you know, you talk about Steve Lamson, you know, Marty Smith is down there helping out the strict racing. Oh, well, the riders just caught a little bit of traction there. But a lot of those guys are giving back to the sport. I mean, as far as, you know, helping guys out because they want to make it a little bit easier for the next guys. And let's face it, we're all former riders and champions. And when they win, we win.
That's right.
So, I mean, it's not like we can go out there and we can't ride anymore. And when we have a good show, you know, Race Day Live, I felt like we won the race today.
Me too.
So we're good.
That's awesome. This is coming to, checker flags out here for the 250C qualifying number 2. We want to thank AMSOIL. AMSOIL products that help put racers in the winner's circle are the same products available to you. AMSOIL makes a full line of oils not only for your power sports toys, but also for the cars and trucks you drive. Choose AMSOIL Performance for any engine.
Yeah, that's it for these guys in this 250 Group C qualifying. Hopefully those times will be good for the guys and get them into the 40 fastest.
It was really cool having Lamson on. I tell you what, folks, we're going to be right back, so go ahead and grab a Monster, and we'll see you soon.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Ken Roczen, riding for Soaring Eagle Jimmy John Suzuki Factory Racing Team, and you're watching Race Day Live.
And we are back with the 250B qualifying group. That's our guy right there. That's Jake Canada out there putting it down.
Yeah, Jake's out front right now. He wanted to get out there early and put down some good laps. That's home plate right there. Look at that. Inside, not leaving the door open. Triple, triple. And a little bit of a double, double. Here's that big,
triple.
You know, we say 65. I think it's 75. That's a big triple right there. And
right out of the corner, too.
Double, double, kind of, you know, bounce up on top of that one. This is another 65-foot triple here. Then a double into that corner. And this is the part that we'll see what happens. Double for these guys, but this is the Monster Energy finish line coming up here.
It was fun having Jake on the show. He was a great guest. You know, he's a mellow cat. Seems easy going. You know, he's got to be pumped to be over there with that new ride. They got a good thing going over there. Let's see. 148. That is Reese.
Reese had a pretty good time. Reese had a pretty good, you know, qualifying that first qualifying session out there, and you know he's coming into that same section there. Let's see if he can triple from the inside here, and he does too. It's hard on these 250Fs.
And Trevor's having a good day. Let's throw a shout out to his sponsors: Maxima Oils, Moto World Racing, Answer, and 100%. He's out of Alpine, California.
I was going to say, when you said Motor World, they're down in San Diego. He's got to be close to Alpine's right close. He can't wait for San Diego to come. He'll be able to sleep in his own bed.
There's 252. 252 is Kevin Weisbrunch from Escondido Cycle Center as one of his sponsors. We want to thank DC Shoes. DC's proud to be the official sponsor of AMA Supercross. Defy convention with DC Shoes.
Yeah, you talk about Weisberg there. He's sitting in that 13th with the 59.3. That could get him in. That could get him in tonight. I like Canada up front though with Izzy right in tow. Nico, you know, making his comeback to racing. Hopefully Nico, he's still looking for that top 10. Nico Izzy in the main events. He's had some problems in the main.
That's a fast lap. He just dropped a second on Canada there, 55.8. So that's putting it down. Nico's got all the talent in the world, you know.
That's what keeps you coming back.
Yeah.
You know you still can go fast.
Right.
But you got to go fast for 15 consistent laps, and that's the thing that he hasn't been able to do this year as far as keeping that consistency for Nico Izzy there. in the main events. The heat races have been good and things like that, but you look at it and, you know, it's not bad for Izzy. I mean, I know that last weekend he didn't make that main event. The first round he got, you know, picked up 5 points, and then in Phoenix he only got a point. So he had problems in the main event there in Phoenix, and I'm not sure why. I didn't get a chance to talk to him why he didn't get that bike in the main event last week, but he has to get it in here this week.
And your top 5 in this 250B qualifying are Jake Canada, Nico Easy, and Michael Horben, Howell, and Rhett Ursit. Lap times are getting faster, Jim. With the A group coming up next, they're really going to drop down there. These guys are at a 55.1. That's what Canada just won up Nico again. But I think we're going to see some dip down into the 53s, the high 53s.
Yeah, well, I mean, you look at that, and I'm pretty sure, I might have wrote it down wrong, but Cooper Webb, I thought he had a 53 flat.
You're right.
So good. I think we're going to get it into the 52s now with these guys, the A guys, when they get ready to come up. But they got a few more, they got, you know, just a little bit over 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go out here. We're starting to see a little bit of shadows. Not quite as bad as we had in Anaheim. You know, it's like half the track sunshine, half the track. We're starting to see it dry out a little bit. We're seeing a little bit of dust in some sections and things like that. But after all this qualifying is done, the Feld track crew, they'll get out there and they'll tune this baby up, and it'll be ready to go here. Opening ceremonies at 6:30, and they drop the gate at 7 o'clock for the first 250 heat race.
That's right, only on Fox Sports 1 tonight. I'm really excited. You know, this is the second track we've had in a row that's gonna, you know, we're gonna see a lot of good passing, a lot of good battling going on. Pretty stoked with the Feld track crew this weekend.
Yeah, you talk about it. I mean, I wouldn't want to be Rich Winkler and the boys. I mean, trying to develop a track each and every week and make it challenging enough for all these guys. And, you know, you're not going to make everybody happy, but, you know, hey, everybody's got to race the same course, and they have everything that anybody would want in a Supercross if you're a fan like we are.
Yeah.
You got the triples, you got the step on, step off, you got some sand, you got the moguls, you got a nice set of whoops.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a great track.
No, those guys bust their butts. You know, it's amazing. This is a show, you know, and the show moves on. As soon as these guys are done, they come in and move this stuff out in one fell swoop. It's astonishing how fast they put the track up and take it down and move on to the next city.
Well, and you know, you can't feel for the, as you're seeing some of the guys right now, Canada moves back up at a 55.1 now compared to Izzy's 55.5. So, you know, all those tough blocks and everything, they get loaded up into semis and they head back down south on I-5 to Anaheim for next weekend. I mean, that's a job in itself, just picking up all those tough blocks.
Yeah, it is. Hey, Jim, I just noticed something. Remember that corner they were cutting there before the finish line?
Yep, they changed it.
You see what's there?
Oh, yeah. Yep, they got the pole right there.
Big old broom handle.
Pole, yeah. You don't want to clip that.
No.
And I'm sure the AMA, you know, made it, you know, aware each and every guy before they went out when the motors were out. Hey, guys, if you guys were jumping to the inside there and cutting that corner, we put a pole there just to let you know, and then they have to. But, yeah, it's just, you know, all these guys, they try to find a little way to kind of...
Whatever it takes.
You know, whatever it takes.
With about a minute and a half to go here, it's Jake Canada, Nico Izzy, and then we got Rice, Gilderda, and Michael Horben.
There's Michael Horben from Oregon. It's sitting in that fifth spot, and that's a good time for Horben, a 56.7. You know, I got a chance earlier. I talked to him. I said, hey, man, you know, I've seen you make main events up in Seattle and things like that in the 450. Why are you on a 250? Because, you know, he goes, well, my sponsorship, I got a couple 250s and 450s are a little bit more. I got to buy those. So that's why he's on a 250, because I was wondering, he's normally a 450 rider.
Yeah.
But he's putting in some good lap times.
Absolutely. Uh-oh. Nico's shaking something off. Might have come up short there.
Yeah, hopefully he's all right. It's amazing. I mean, you know, there's, you know, like Jake Canady said, they took away my fast lap time, but, you know, now he's down to the 54.9s for Jake Canada. But, you know, you got to go through sound. I mean, there's a certain amount of decibels that these bikes have to come in, and if they don't pass, then they got to repack their silencers and things like that. And but
he hasn't raced in a couple weeks, Jim. He just
he just forgot it.
His mind,
he just
man.
slipped him.
But no, he's got a heck of a lap put up right now. He's leading this 250B group qualifying. I'd say it'll put him in the top 10, top 12 in overall for the 250s. Just about out of time here with these guys. We're going to have the big boys coming up next. It's going to get exciting. I get excited at least. I love watching the EA guys qualify. It's some of the fastest laps we see all night.
You know, it was interesting when Jake was on the show today, him talking about, yeah, I'm okay with this, the B group here. You know, he said those A guys are out there. They're out there for blood. They're ramming, and everybody's fast. He says, you know, I thought that was, you know, usually you want to try to get into that A group to see what you got to do during the week to prepare yourself.
Right. There's a little bit more space for him down there in this B group, I think. So
here comes our mechanics to pack down the spot for him there. There's Nico. He seems to be all right. He's going to talk to his mechanic. Let's see.
You can definitely pick him out with that riding gear.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The Rockwell Watch guys, they're happy with that performance with Nico Izzy at that second spot. Not a bad thing, talking to the mechanic there. And yeah, we'll see what happens in the main.
I'm Josh Grant with Team Discount Tire 22, and you're watching Race Day live. We're going to start doing backflips?
And here we go, the 258 group qualifying number 2. So far it's Jesse Nelson, your fastest, followed by Shane McGrath, Zach Freeberg, Zach Bell, Chris Aldridge. That's your top 5. Some of the heavy hitters haven't been out yet. Webb, Bowers, Stewart.
They're out there. They just took off a little bit later than the other guys. They wanted to let these other guys. We're watching, I believe that's Freeberg up there, 86, and you know, they kind of wanted to start in the back. They didn't want to jump up, but now we're going to see a lot of the guys starting to jump up to the front. There's Hill, Nelson, Freeberg, McGrath.
It was cool talking to Zach Freeberg's mechanic. You know, he won that Top Tech Award. So we're going to see an interview with him coming up on the next show. Yeah, cool kid.
Yeah, real nice kid. They went through a lot of adversity last week. He was very deservingly of the MMI Top Tech Award. And, you know, $1,000 bucks. I mean,
that's right.
It's a lot of money. He's a graduate out of Phoenix MMI.
That's what he said, yeah.
Well, he's got the bike working good today for Freeberg.
He said they had an electrical problem, and those are always horrible. You never know where to start.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. You don't start. You just throw it all away and put all new stuff on because it's hard to. There's that pole you were talking about to the inside there as Freeberg takes a look back. And I'm telling you, man, these guys are looking at that inside. They're still going to, there's going to be some activity tonight on that last right-hander before that Monster Energy finish line. I can guarantee it. These guys are
for the win right there.
For the win, for the last spot of the main event.
Chance qualifier.
Yeah, last chance qualifier. It'd be good.
I see a couple places out there where there's going to be some good passes tonight. There's Aldridge.
Starting to see Aldridge in the whoops there. A lot of the guys right in the middle. They're going into the middle. The middle's kind of broke down a little bit for the guys.
I tell you what, that's a tough kid. I was standing about 10 feet away from where he crashed last weekend, and he whiskey throttled through that section, and I was glad to see him get up.
Jesse Nelson.
And what could have been? You know, what could have been last weekend? He was gone.
Well, the main thing is he was able to get back up and get things rolling and finished up 6th and keep himself alive in this championship fight on the West Coast here.
It's still alive, you know. We've been saying it all day long. 11 points from 1st to 5th. That could happen in the drop of a hat.
Yeah, you're going to see one of the guys out here, Michael Lieb, not in here. We saw him earlier, and unfortunate for Michael Lieb, we just got word that broken leg, so man, he's just got to be bummed out. You know, he's not going to be here. It's
too bad.
Probably going to be 4 weeks, 6 weeks, possibly before we see Michael Lieb. And, you know, you look at it, and you look at this, you know, West Coast here. You go down to Anaheim next week, and then you go down to San Diego, and then they take a little bit of a break, a hiatus before we pick it back up, I believe, in Houston in April. So I'm sure we'll see Michael Lieb in Houston.
I want to send all our prayers and well wishes to him. Those are no good. Broken legs, bad deal, but he'll be back, like you say, Jim. All right, 5 minutes to go here. Right now, your top 5 is Justin Hill, then it's Jesse Nelson, Tyler Bowers, Cooper Webb's 4th, and Malcolm Stewart's 5th. And on through the top 10, we got Zach Bell, Aaron Plessinger, Chris Aldridge. I believe that's him right there. He's down, but he's okay. He's an 8th. 9th is Zach Osborne, and 10th is Shane McGrath. And they're shaking up right now quite a bit. Coop just dropped to the top. That's a 52.6. So they are 4/10 of a lap faster than in this qualifying session than they were in qualifying number 1.
Yeah, it's interesting. I just got my text from Kurt Binky. He said in the 250 class, he's already going for his picks. Oh, there's that crash. That's that sand that we talked about earlier, losing that front end like that. These are not sand tires out here, and once that thing gets through, at least he's keeping the rear wheel spinning out there. He's off the track again.
That's why they call them rookies, Jim. You know?
Yeah, they make mistakes. It's part of the game. It's part of the game. But Kurt Binky, he's going with Cooper Webb to win 3 in a row. Hill in second and Bowers in third. So we'll see what happens.
That's a pretty odd statistic. It's hard to believe Jason Anderson was the last, person to. Not Jason Anderson, Jason Lawrence. Jason Lawrence.
Yeah, back in
J-Law, the last guy to win 3 in a row in a Yamaha in the 250 class.
Yeah.
So Coop's going to be close to doing that tonight, but I don't know, man. I think Justin Hill's going to be nasty. He's going to be fast tonight.
And I think that, back then in 2008, I think he was going up against Ryan Dungey. Dungey was his rival that week. And to string together 3 in a row against a guy like Ryan Dungey, even in his, early part of his career, I mean, huge.
I miss Lawrence. He was so fast, so much talent, really cool style.
You ever talk to him? You should do an article for Racer X.
It'd be cool to catch up with
Where
him.
is he now?
You know what? I think he was actually in our chat room last week. He's a big fan. He's riding. He posts some stuff on Instagram of himself, and he can still go fast. So it would be kind of cool to catch up with him and see officially what he's doing.
Well, hopefully he's still got some of that money left that he had for the wins and the championship that he got.
There's Hill.
There's that dust we were talking about as Hill kicks it up a little bit.
He is the heat so far. That's a 52.2 for him.
Yeah, I just think if he gets a good start, I think, Hill could win his first of 2015.
It's going to be good. It's going to be a great race. You can throw a blanket over these guys. The top 5, they're all about the same speed. Malcolm Stewart, he could just come out of nowhere and pull off a good start. Win his first. Hill could go ahead.
I remember last year here in Oakland, Malcolm Stewart and Cooper Webb getting together out here.
Yeah.
Having a
You're
crash.
right.
So, you just never know what's going to happen.
Bowers, then this kid right here, Aaron Plessinger.
Oh, he stalled it. Stalled it. Oh, you see our camera guy cut away. He was so pissed at himself for making that little mistake there.
Engine might have let go there. I'm watching him kick it right now, and it's not kicking.
Well, maybe it
good.
might have let go. Let's see if he found neutral. No, he's got it started again. He's good. He just stalled it. He just made a little bit of an error. Got a little bit too much on the rear brake and stalled it.
It's definitely heating up here in this qualifying session. We got 2 minutes to go. It's still Justin Hill, followed by Cooper Webb. Then we got Nelson, Bowers, and Stewart in your top 5.
Let me see who that is on that Yamaha. Is that 65? It looks like it was 65. 65 there. That's going to be,
of course, that's
Scott
Champion.
Champion.
Yeah.
That's Freeberg's teammate over at the Strict Racing Yamaha, Bruce Layton. There again, him and Freeberg not jumping that. They like that inside line. They're looking at and a lot of these guys have been transferring, out of the heat race directly. They take the top 9. So if they're running 10th and there's a guy 9th ahead of him, he's going to the inside. I know Scott Champion's going to go that inside in that last corner.
Super Coupe just jumped up to the top. That's a 52.24. to Hill's 52.27.
Well, and he took about 8/10 off of his first session of qualifying time there, and Hill took some time off of his, and then you're going to go back to third. Jesse Nelson still in the 53.0 there for Jesse Nelson, and Tyler Bowers at 53.1. Look at Malcolm Stewart there at 53.2. So all these guys, as we see Mookie, he's got those dreadlocks flying around in the back. Looks like a little bit like Richard Sherman out there when I was watching that game between Green Bay and Seattle. He's got that hair out of the helmet there.
He's on a heater, so let's see if he can improve his position. He's currently 5th right now.
Even Mookie going to the inside there. The key is if someone can go to the inside and get enough traction and jump that, that'll be huge.
Well, Jim, I think they're just basically going for a heater. They want to get the best gate pick they can. So they're not even concerned about jumping that, but like you said, you're already.
Oh, there's the first jump. Yeah. You just saw it, Justin Hill. Let's see, and it bumped him up. A 51.7 for Hill.
Yeah, he claimed it too.
There's Mookie right there. There's Hill, back on Hill. Let's see if he does it again.
He knew that was a fast lap right when he came over the finish line.
Well, I mean, the checkered flag's going to be out now.
Right.
It's out, so he's done. He's just rolling around right now, Hill. I don't know, maybe Webb might have saw that. Maybe Webb's going to go on a heater, but Hill right now just kind of rolling around, just saying, hey, I'm the guy. I'm just the guy out here right now. I am the one up on top of the Monster Energy leaderboard. Hill.
Gate pick number 1.
Gate pick number 1, yep. And the best heat race number 2.
Yeah.
I think that's the best heat race. You know, that's the fastest guy gets the second one, because then the line's starting to develop, and you know, you start to watch that first heat race. Some of the lines aren't worked in yet, so that looks like it's going to stick, and it's fast.
Oh yeah, 51.7.
Yeah, that's it's almost a half of a second. Almost a half of a second right there.
And that's it. That's going to be your top 5. It's Hill, Webb, Nelson, Stewart, and Bowers, followed by Plessinger in 6th, Zach Osborne 7th, Zach Bell 8th, Alex Martin 9th, Shane McGrath 10th.
Yeah, that was a 51.7 for Hill. That's nice. Nelson, maybe Nelson will reback.
Going down to the podium.
You're right when you say that. How about that 51 seconds for Justin Hill? Congratulations on that lap time. That was so fast, 0.5 of a second, faster than anyone else out on the track. What are you doing so different?
You know, I'm just putting everything together well, I think. The track's really tricky, so it plays into my favor a little bit. So, you know, I think this is the first time I've ever qualified first, so that's a good start to the night. I've never done that before, so I feel good. I think if the track is going to come around even further, it's going to be great tonight.
You know, when you say you have the pole position, do you already have your gate picked out over there for heat race number 2?
Absolutely. You know, when we walk the track as a team, we make all these plans, and that's what we go for, is the first, so we can be the first one to pick.
How did you find those extra couple milliseconds out there on the track? I know that it was 52s consecutively for everyone out there, and then you found 51. Where was it on the track, do you think?
Well, when the 17 went to the top of the board, I didn't like that, so I tried to lay down the best thing I could.
Well, that sounds like some pretty good motivation. That red plate was on the top of the board, and Justin Hill said, no way, I'm going to the top now. He has the pole position into tonight. One more time for the Red Bull KTM rider, number 32, Justin Hill.
Look at Dungey.
And here we go.
Dungey, Anderson,
Ford
Reed.
50A, qualifying number 2. Who's going to be the fastest qualifier today in Oakland?
Look at Jimmy Albertson there, number 53.
I like seeing this out of Dungey, man. I like seeing a little bit of aggression, even if it's practice, even if it's qualifying. He's hungry. He wants to win,
man. He needs to do it. I mean, that's just it. I mean, he needs to go out there and, you know, lay down some fast laps.
This will be a good indicator of Reed too. If Reed's able to, you know, stay behind Dungey here, it'll show he has the speed to do well tonight.
You got a couple veterans right there, Reed and Dungey going at it. Reed a little bit more of a veteran than Dungey, but I like Jimmy Albertson sitting right behind Reed.
Yeah, Jimmy, man, top Jimmy. Great guy. Him and Georgia, you know, they're a good team. They're driving all over the country and making this deal work for them.
Yeah, just a little bit slick coming around that first turn there. Not as many ruts coming out, you see. There's that inside line there. Reed's going to triple in, double.
You know, I know it's only the opening laps here, and it's a heck of a thing to critique an all-time great like Reed, but you can just kind of tell the momentum's not there. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of the best thing about Chad Reed's riding style is he flows so good, and something's just kind of hitched up. It seems like he's bound up, and what he needs is just a good finish, a top 5.
He's had him here before in Oakland. You know, he's had podiums. And, you know, I mean, you got to go back. The last 4 years have been won by guys that aren't here. Villapoto the last year and the year before, and before that it was James Stewart. So the last 2 years. So those guys there aren't here. So it's opening the door right now for here in Oakland for maybe Ryan Dungey possibly get his first for KTM here in the 450 class. I know Kenny Roczen did it back in 2013.
There's Kyle Partridge. He had a tough weekend last week and had a big crash with Josh Hill and then another big crash. But Kyle's a main event guy. Here's Dungey again. He's really putting it down, top of the board so far. Well, not
Seeley,
anymore.
Yeah, Seeley went up to the top with a 52.9. Right behind him, Trey Canard with a 52.9. And you know, you look at Trey Canard, he had a 52.8. He's already had a 52.9 that first lap out. So you know, I think that those times will drop even more as this final time practice in the A class here, you know, goes on.
Here, Dungey's on a heater here. He's digging in. There's Tickle. He's killing it, man. Top 5 last weekend.
Yeah, beautiful ride for Brock Tickle last week, number 20. Yeah, I think it's good that, you know, he's got a teammate leading the championship, takes a little pressure off him, and I think he rides a little better when he doesn't have pressure. Here's Dungey coming up and over the triple jump there. That's a big one. There's that tower we talked about with Steve Lamson. Dungey came up a little short right there. That might have took a little wind out of his sails, but there's that tower right there by the Monster Energy finish line. That's where all the guys are up there with the headsets and the radios. See if we can't get a shot of it when Dungey goes to this inside ride up here, right below. Dungey jumped over right there. Let's see what Dungey's time. Jumps up to second. Yeah, not bad, a 52.5.
And of course, Ken Roczen's at the front with a 52.49. So those guys are camped all over each other. And your top 5 right now is Roczen, Dungey, Reed, Tomac, Canard, Seeley, Grant, Millsaps in 8th, Weimer 9th, and Justin Barsha down in 10th.
Yeah, after you mentioned Barsha, it's going to be Anderson, and then Anderson drops back. Baggett's now up to that 10th spot there. Barsha drops back 1. Then you got Anderson, Albertson, Short, LeMay, Metcalf, Chisholm, Way, Partridge. And I'm surprised at Tickle way down there at 56, but we'll see. I'm sure he'll jump back up. Yeah, it's going to be good out there for the boys as we're watching Eli Tomac now. We're getting a chance to watch Eli Tomac out there. Tomac sitting down in about 5th spot right now. See if he can bump up as he crosses over the Monster Energy. Tomac jumps up to the top now with a 51.9. So things are changing here. 5 minutes to go, Andy. Eli Tomac just jumps up to that top spot.
Those 3 are pretty nasty right there. Tomac, Canard, and Roczen. And I mean, not those 3, those 4. Then Dungey, you know. And Reed's 5th. Reed's riding pretty good. That's not bad for him as far as qualifying goes. Reed's one of those guys that'll really turn it on in the heat of the moment. So he just needs, like I said earlier, he just needs to get a good finish under his belt and start feeling the flow. Reed can get it done. And Roczen just dropped the hammer there to a 51.5.
Yeah, Roczen, you know, what can you say? These guys, it just keeps dropping.
Anytime he wants to, he can
it.
go right to the top. He's feeling it. He's got a lot of confidence going right now. And, you know, a 1-2-1 is one of the best starts to a Supercross series as we've seen in a long time. So, you know, credit where credit's due. You gotta give it up to him. You know, Ricky and Kerry and Mark Johnson and Kenny Watson over there. They got new sponsor Jimmy Johns. Look at him throwing it sideways. They're making it happen right now. You know, Roczen's just feeling it.
Yeah, he is. I mean, when you got the red background out there, and you're leading the championship in the 450 class, and you're, what, 20 years old, not too much things that are bothering you there. He just looks forward to going to the bank on Monday morning, depositing those checks for winning those bonuses. As we take a look at him ride, he just flows. He just, you know, the bike really never gets out of shape too bad. Just scrubs off, goes to the inside there, then seat hop this triple here, goes by Reed, triple there, single into the corner. It's just like a machine out there.
We got a little bit over 3 minutes to go here. It's the final qualifying session for the A guys of the day. Let's see who's gonna get that #1 gate pick.
Man, I really like that sand.
Canard's finishing up a heater. Let's see where he goes. Canard.
Here's we're gonna see on screen
Still
here
third.
now. It's Weimer and Tomac there, just kind of getting together, and I'm not sure if they're gonna be on a heater. They're both kind of just with each other. Weimer's gonna give way to one. Tomac on the inside. Let's see Tomac triple. Can he get this next triple? No. Double, and he's gonna get out of the way.
He's gonna throw that lap out. There's Kyle Chisholm, had a main event performance, you know, effort last weekend. It did pretty well. I think he finished 12th.
Yeah, I mean, Chisholm, that was a great ride for him last weekend, making his first one. One more down, 13th, lucky number 13 for Kyle Chisholm. But hey, you know what? Anytime you can make a 450 main event, you're doing something right.
Especially this year, yeah.
But it's going to be a little bit easier. We got a few more spots opened up.
Yeah.
You know, you can't say the Weston Pike, he's gone, but they filled him with Phil Nicoletti, and he should get that bike in the main event. But unless he's not here, but they filled it with Vince Freeze, so there's not another spot. About the only spot they didn't fill would be, you know, Justin Brayton on the KTM, as well as Dean Wilson. So there's a couple spots that are open up for some of those, you know, 3-digit guys to step up in there and make their first main event. There's Barsha there, number 51. Let's see what his lap time is. Looks like he's on a heater, but he's down. I mean, he's clear out in 12th spot. I know Johnny O'Mara's not going to be happy with that.
Needs more speed.
Everyone kind of looking back behind him there as you see Roczen saying, hey, I don't want to get in anybody's way. But look, I mean, he looks back and he just flows through that section. I mean, he's cruising. Just on. The track, the Feld track crew, they're going to get out there and they're going to fix those whoops up. Everyone's not going to be going to the middle.
There's Andrew Short. You know, an interesting thing there. He's worn a different colored boot on each side, and Pulp MX's Steve Mathis gave him a lot of crap for that. So he wears a pair of white boots last weekend and goes down hard. So he's got the multicolored boots back on.
And you talk about that. I mean, riders are superstitious. I mean, hey, it was working for him, and I go to someone tells me it doesn't look good, and I go back to the traditional wearing the same colored boots, and I end up on my head. I don't finish the main event. I'm going back to what's working for me.
Well, there's Trey. Trey's just jumped up to the top.
Oh,
minutes ago. 1 minute to go,
I
man.
mean, it's going to be so hard to pick. We got to do our picks too.
Right.
Yeah, that's going to be hard.
It's going to be a good race tonight on Fox Sports 1. Everybody tune in.
Blake Baggett there on his factory Yoshimura Suzuki. He's looking good. There's Seeley there getting a little sideways. Following Roczen now. That's not a bad thing to do if you're Cole Seeley. Follow Roczen, but whoa! Almost moved out of Roczen out of the way.
And folks, if you're ready to turn the corner, check out the National MX Champion Yamaha YZ250F and Super Nimble YZ450F at YamahaMotorsports.com or visit your local Yamaha dealer. DC Shoes is proud to be the official footwear sponsor of AMA Supercross. Defy convention with DC Shoes. Wow, now that was a whip right there.
Yeah, well,
that's going to do it. Trey Canard.
The reason why he's got the whip is because he went ahead and, you know, that's it. Checker flags out. Get a few photographs for some of the guys down there. I don't know, Kenny Roczen probably thought he had the fast time because you see Lurch down there with the headset on, going to interview. Said, no,
Trey
Kenny,
put it
you
on
didn't
him,
get
man.
it, but maybe Trey went back up to the truck and they're going to have to get Kenny, who finished second. I don't know. We'll see what Lurch does. Looks like they're going to go with Kenny because Trey Canard probably just rode back up to the truck. I don't know why.
He earned that one.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, alongside of the number 94 RCH Soaring Eagle Casino rider Ken Roczen, current points leader, and only 0.2 of a second. That's like 1/10 of a mistake out there, and man, so close in that qualifying round.
Oh yeah, I don't even care. I feel great. So I'm a better racer, so can't wait to go to the gate and put it down there.
You know, definitely a different track as far as substance that you guys are riding on, but man, look like you're having fun. Big whips over the finish line, and filling up the fun meter's part of it for you being relaxed and doing well in the main event.
Oh yeah, totally. I feel great. The bike's working awesome, and track's going to be great for racing tonight. They're going to prep it up, and it's going to be all good.
Man, leading the points right now, the championship isn't, it's actually chasing him. He's not chasing the championship. Let's give it up for the 94 RCH Casino ride of Ken Roczen.
You did the tailgate talk, right? Wow. Upside down right there.
Well, he thought he had fast time. The second fastest for Kenny Roczen.
And one of the features we have on our show is the Toyota Tailgate Talk. Jim, you sat down with some folks last weekend, and
well, it's the party in the pits. I mean, you know, Toyota, you know, we do this each and every week. We kind of alternate, but You know, I didn't know if you had a Toyota key, you got a free meal from Toyota. That's what they're doing this year for anybody in the pits. If you got a Toyota key, you can go in there, get a hot dog, something to drink, and sit down, kind of rest, you know, a little bit. And the Monster Girls had the pool. We went over to Yamaha.
It's never bad.
It's the party in the pits is off the hook.
Cool.
Jim Hawley, Race Day Live on supercrosslive.com. Well, welcome to this week's Toyota Tailgate Talk. That's Jenna and Lauren over here. They work for Toyota, and you know what? You know something cool about Toyota? If you have a Toyota key, and I got a Toyota, I got a few of these Toyota trucks, you can go over there and get a meal with your family. Come over, you get a chance to sign up. You get a chance to win one of the practice bikes of Justin Barsh's, a Yamaha 450, YZ 450. A lot happening here. That's why you got to come to Supercross. The party in the pits, a lot of things going on. We're talking DC shoes, Monster Energy, the Monster Energy girls. There's a pool over there these guys are in, a hot tub. We're going to go check out Yamaha. They got a lot of things to give away, so I'm heading over. I'm going to go check out the Monster girls. All right, well, you just saw the Monster girls over there in the Monster display. I'm going to come over here to the Yamaha display here, and I'm going to check out this nice R1, and I'm going to ask Marcus D. Michael, I got it right, correct?
That's correct.
Hey, this is a pretty good setup you got over here at Yamaha.
Yes, it's 2015's been such an incredible year for us with new model launches, so we wanted to give our customers and our fans the opportunity to come down and check out some of those new models, including the new YZ 250FX and WR 250F, some street models like the FZ07 and FJ09, and the incredible new R1 and R3. These two models haven't even been released to the public yet, so it's a really great opportunity for our fans to check them out.
This is a good fit for Yamaha in the marriage with Supercross. I mean, to come out here, the demographics fit, the party in the pits, everybody's here. You get a chance to, you know, show off your product line.
Absolutely. We've got activities taking place all day long. We have a joint autograph session with Auto Trader Toyota Yamaha, so Justin Barsha, Weston Pike, and also some riders from Yamalup, Star Racing Yamaha as well.
Something else I noticed, the charging station, my phone was dead and I went over there, I kind of used it. And then you got the wheel over there where it's like the, you know, you spin it and you can win Yamaha earbuds, and there's a lot of good prizes you can win over there.
That's right, you can enter your name to win a TW Steel factory racing watch, Yamaha factory racing watch, and then spin the wheel for an instant prize as well, and that's open to all ages. We also have a replica of Jeremy Martin's Motocross Championship winning bike for a photograph opportunity throughout the day.
It's actually his bike you can go in there and sit on and get a photo op with, huh?
That's right, and it was an incredible season for us as well, and with the addition of Blue Crew now, our rider support program, that's not just for professional riders but for amateur riders alike. Tons of support there. Our customers can go to YamahaBlueCrew.com to find out all the information there as well.
You know, Marcus, you talk about that Blue Crew, but I know that Yamaha's got a new website. Tell me what that website is.
That's right, Jim. We just updated our website, so you can now go to www.yamahamotorsports.com to find out all the information on what we're actually doing here for this event, all of our products, and can even access our new e-commerce website and purchase parts and accessories directly online.
Perfect. Marcus, well, thanks. I know you're a busy guy over here. Well, that's it for this week's Toyota Tailgate Talk. Make sure you check us out on Race Day Live on supercrosslive.com.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Dungey, riding for Red Bull KTM on the number 5 bike, and you're watching Race Day Live.
And folks, AMSOIL synthetic dirt bike oil delivers maximum horsepower, bulletproof wear protection, and consistent clutch feel for the confidence you need to get on, get after it, and stay out front. AMSOIL, out front performance. Visit amsoil.com/dirt bike to learn more. And at MMI, if you want to win, MMI and AMSOIL have teamed up to give you a chance to win a replica of Kevin Windham's Honda CRF 450R Supercross bike. Go to www.winkevinsbike.com for your chance to win. MMI, the official technical institute of Monster Energy Supercross.
I really like that shot there with Dunlop, Yamaha, MMI, the guys flying by. You got the Toyota truck at the Tundra on the bottom there. That looks pretty cool, that shot. I really enjoy it. Yeah. Something else cool that some of the boys they brought the wrong size for me. They brought a large, and I'm an extra large. But the 2015 T-shirt there, I think it's pretty cool. It's got all the cities at the bottom. You see the Cactus there for Phoenix. You see the Arch for St. Louis. You see the Empire State Building for the East Rutherford round in New Jersey. You see the Georgia Peach down there in the corner. They got them all here, you know, and I think it's pretty cool. Sponsors on the back, that's nice. I always like that.
And you got to get a shirt for your girl, too, you know. I know Mandy's going to want one when I get back home, so here we go. There's a girl's shirt. You know,
you got the hat? You going to wear the hat?
Yeah, anybody can wear the hat.
I don't know. Don't fit over my headset, though.
Just go to supercrosslive.com and shop yourself.
How's that look?
I don't know, Jim.
It's not going to fly.
It's a little high.
I got my headset on.
Yeah.
Let's go to our picks. We got to go to our picks.
It's that time?
It's that time. It's that time.
You know,
who you going with?
250 or 450?
I know Kurt Benke. He already gave us his. We're going to do the 250. Let's see. We kind of wrote him down already. Who you going with?
Justin Hill.
Nice.
I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to harness the power of the NorCal spirit and use some of that. And
second and third?
Webb and Bowers.
All right,
they're going to battle. Who knows? Maybe them two could take each other out, and Hill slips in and gets it. But that's my top three. Hill, Webb, Bowers.
I'm going to go a little different. I'm going to go with Webb to win. I think he's going to get 3 in a row. I think we haven't seen that since 2008 when Jason Lawrence. I'm going to go with Hill for second. And I'm going to go with Nelson for third. And we already know what Kurt Benke, we said it earlier on the broadcast. Who are you going with the 450s?
Roczen. I just can't. He's looking too good. And watching him out there today, he's so comfortable on the track. His bike looks like it's working excellent. He's working excellent. I think he's going to keep it rolling. You know, Roczen, Canard, and Tomac. Those are my top 3.
All right, well, I think I'm going to go with Roczen also. I think I'm going to keep on that bandwagon. I think he wins another. The only reason why is I know back in 2013 he won here in the 250 class when he was riding for KTM. I think he knows the dirt here. I think that's it. But I think Canard's got to get a second tonight. I think Trey's going to get a good start. I think he's going to run second. And then I'm going to go with Dungey, the Diesel, in that third spot there. And I know a buddy of mine, Richard Bunch, he's listening in, and he chimed in. He says it's going to be Canard for the win.
Could be.
And Roczen for second and Dungey for third.
Solid
so
picks.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll
Solid
see what
picks.
happens. So.
What's going to be interesting to see what shakes out, Jim. Is Roczen going to keep this thing rolling? Is Dungey going to, is he going to catch up? If he wins this thing and close down them points, he can go from 12 to 9 or even more. If Roczen has a bad race, who knows? He hasn't yet, but he could. And Cooper Webb, 3 in a row. What are we going to see?
Well, like we've always talked about, you win your championships on your bad nights. If Ken Roczen has some problem, how is he going to deal with that? That's what we want to see. I think that's what a lot of fans want to see, how he's going to come back from adversity if he gets a bad start. Is he going to pick himself up? Like, we saw last weekend, Trey Canard, he picked himself back up and he finished up 11th. Salvaged a lot of points. That's the key right there. Is, Ryan Dungey, you talk about the Diesel number 5. Is he going to come away with his first in 2015?
Yeah.
He had a 4th, he had a 3rd, he had a 2nd. The only thing that left to do is win one. He could possibly win one. And you talk about on that 250 side, can Cooper Webb win 3 in a row? Can Jesse Nelson get back onto the top of the podium there? Can Malcolm Stewart win his first of his career?
Bowers.
Osborne. Tweet us in. Hashtag. We want to see what your thoughts are. And what a great show we had tonight. What a lot of great guests we had on. I mean, Bobby Reagan, and he was great. Jake Canada and Steve Lamson. I mean, just a great show, and we're going to have a great night of racing on Fox Sports 1. So make sure you check out that Fox Sports 1.
Thanks for joining us today, folks. We'll see you next weekend back in Anaheim.